Hello.
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 A warm welcome to everybody. A welcome to all of our viewers tonight on YouTube. This is Carnival Slayers Hot Sauce. I can't remember which episode this is because we've done quite a few. My name is Giselle, and I'm your host tonight, and I am so pleased to be back in the hot seat. And tonight we're talking plenty bacchanal and plenty pepper and plenty topics that, we close to our heart in our community. Tonight I am joined by some fantastic and amazing people, and I will let them introduce themselves. I will go from my left, starting with Miss Ponderoad.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Marsha, also known as On the Road or Miss On the Road or just your general Busybody. And I'm here to talk some things today at Slayers Hot Sauce. I've got a little blog page. I'm a mum. I like to make natural products. I like to dance. And I just generally like to have good energy and tell people about them backside.
And we like that too. And on my right next to Marsha is T-Bone.
Yeah, so me, Mr. T-Bone from Guadeloupe, but in London since 2008. Dancer, DJ, promoter, the life of the party, as they call it sometimes, but and yeah, I'm here to spread the joy, that's what we do.
Yeah. And T-Bone, next to T-Bone is Nai, looking sexy.
Hello. Yes, hello everyone. I'm Nai, founder, director of Carnival Slayers. Good evening, good evening. Tonight is all about the pepper and sauce. Not the one found in Drake's condom, but yeah, a different type of pepper and sauce. Sorry, I had to add that one in there.
You just had to throw that in there. And below Nai is Hyper Spice.
Hi guys, I'm Hyper Spice, and I'm a multi-genre DJ, but most people will know me as a soca DJ because that's where I wanted to start. So yeah, my first time on the panel, so I am looking forward to the sauce.
Welcome. Next to Hyper is Uncle X.
Hi guys, good evening. My name's Lex Lion. I'm a DJ, producer, promoter, host, and I'm here to talk the things. Keep it real.
And we're looking forward to that as well. Welcome. M's looking cute as ever. You're on mute, babe.
I said you got to start flirting with me. People are going to start noticing. So to tell you quickly, like really high level who I am, I'm an accountant. I'm the host of the Dominique and M show, which goes live every Saturday. I am the brand director and designer for Belgier Mars, and I'm a Caribbean, lover of the culture, everything of it, and I will always speak fondly of our culture and try and celebrate that in every room that I'm in.
Amen. Whoop whoop. And last but not least, we've got Tiny Houdini.
Hey guys, yeah, so that's me, Tiny Houdini, Abs Houdini, same thing. Yeah, I'm a presenter, radio host, and I present for Carnival Slayers as well on Slay the Talk.
Lovely. And as you guys know, you guys should know, not the panel obviously, but to our viewers should know by now who I am. I'm Giselle, founder, band leader for Gems, Mass, and GMI. Good night to all the GMIs tuned in. Host, presenter, educator and a lover of carnival arts and supporter of carnival arts, and obviously your host for tonight. So that rounds up everybody. Just again, welcome. Anybody who's watching, please tell your friends so that they can tune in, because tonight's show, I'm telling all you really, really don't want to miss it. And feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. We will be picking up on some comments tonight as well, and you can be interactive with us. We want this to be an interactive discussion. It's not just us here on the panel just talking at you, but we want your feedback as well, so we can have a really rich discussion, because that's what we just do on Hot Sauce. You understand? It's an interactive thing, right? So jumping into the topics tonight.
Before we start, guys, are we actually? Is it actually live? Because to me, it's like it's not.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, cool. All right, just my friend.
To say what? I have to do this over again. No, but yeah. The topics that we have tonight are some very deep topics, and we want to have a deep discussion. And then later on, when we come to the bacchanal thing, we go talk about the bacchanal thing. Now I already kind of let the cat out of the bag and some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. But the first thing we want to delve into is a discussion that's being had, but is not a new one. And the discussion is around, us in the Black community, our men. When it is, we have some Black men who have preferences for women of other races, right? And the thing about it is you don't necessarily need to have a sexual preference to, a woman from the same race. And of course, this is a heterosexual discussion. We also have, the homosexual side of it, but we're looking at it from a heterosexual perspective, whereby there are some men in our community who, when it comes to, dating women, they seem to be very derogatory and degrading towards Black women. And we just want to start off the discussion as to why that is, because, and this is prompted by a gentleman. I don't even know if to call him a gentleman, but we go call him gentleman, from Barbados, who is trending on social media at the moment for coming out and saying that he doesn't date Black women, he doesn't like Black women, and using some really, really derogatory and debasing language about Black women. And we're just trying to understand and unpick why that is. So I'm going to put it out to the panel and put it out to you, our viewers. So please, if you have some comments, drop it in the comment section. But just to put it out there as to why that is. And I actually want to start off discussion with our male panelists tonight, because it's really good to hear from a male perspective. We as ladies, we have plenty to say. We know what we go say. But I think from a guy's perspective, it would be really, really good to hear what you guys think. So either T-Bone, you kick off, and then we'll go to Lex.
All right. I will be honest, at some point in my life, I was going towards this direction as well, when I started to be put off Black women, because I used to meet a lot of them that had very strong attitudes, and I'm not the kind of guy who would like that. And I realized that, you can't really put everyone in the same basket, but this is just me. So I guess some people that might have probably had the same experience just decided to just put them in the same bag. And then I've met a couple of them like that, so they must be all like that. And I don't want to date women like this. So that could be a thing. And obviously they took it to a level that's over where it was supposed to be. That probably they got put off by what they saw. And so that, I'm not excusing what they're saying, because you can't put a whole race in the same basket and say, oh, all Black women are like that. But as someone that has been there, I think maybe it could have started there.
But what would you say? Okay, so I get that. So in terms of, having a bad experience, because we've all been there where we've been through bad relationships, and, sometimes we are hurt so much by it, by the things that we say. But what would drive a person to describe women in such a manner? Are you able to help unpick that? Because I really struggle with that part.
It could be multiple things, not just one thing. It could be the fact that one part of it is that he got hurt. His ego got hurt as well. So when a man's ego gets hurt, they can say and do things that are really not nice. And the rest, I don't know, it comes down to each individual. Obviously it all comes down to the fact that he got hurt, and then other things happen, and then he carried on that negative path, basically.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Thanks. And Lex, what's your 2 cents?
For me, I can't really speak on all men, but for me personally, I feel like it's more like an understanding, innit? Like when I was growing up, I had a lot of females around me who used to laugh and joke in that kind of way and talk to each other in a derogatory kind of way, which led us to do it, and they laughed about it with us. So growing up, you kind of have a misunderstanding. That's just me though. You kind of have a misunderstanding where you kind of, there's a foggy line between if it's okay or not. Do you get what I mean? Amongst the general female population. But obviously, as I got older and I began to understand, okay, this isn't the way you speak to women, then you kind of see clearly what's happening. But honestly, I'm kind of on T-Bone's side with what T-Bone said, because for me, it's a similar thing. A lot of the men that I know and a lot of the men that I speak to all have said to me that until they got to a point where they was genuinely fully healed, they always looked at women like that.
Okay.
Always been, okay, you know what? Like from the minute you're not on my side, this is how you are. You get what I mean?
Yeah. No, really interesting. Ems, you wanna come in? You're on mute.
Sorry. So to bring it back, we were talking about the Prince of Barbados, right? And we were talking about his comments against Black women,
Yes.
or what I would find derogatory as a Black woman. And he's not that far in complexion than I am. For me, a lot of what I'm going to repeat what I say on every time I come on here. A lot of what we do and say is a projection of how we feel about ourselves. So I can, even if I jump on what Lex and what T-Bone have said, how you're made to feel, how he may have, because I can't speak for his experience, I don't know the Egypt, but how he might have felt growing up as a darker skinned person, he might have felt lesser than if that was his experience. So he might be projecting those insecurities when he's sitting on that panel and being quite a successful podcast as well. And I actually went on his page, like, True Caribbean and me, went to go Maka on his page, and he's all about status and celebrity. So maybe for him, he sees women that are either lighter or white as a position of standing because he doesn't feel attractive in himself. So what he's saying is because that's how he feels as a Black man about himself, which is quite sad in my opinion.
Sorry, can I ask you, what exactly did he say?
So he said that, so basically there was a podcast, it was himself and another presenter who was Black, and I think the presenter was African American, and the man talking was of Bayesian descent, hence the Prince of Barbados. And then there's like a table, and they had like a number of women around them, say about 5. There was 1 Black woman, and then there were about 4 white women, and the optics of it were really kind of awkward and uncomfortable to watch, because he was saying to her that she's okay because she is not ratchet and not ghetto like the others, and he can relate to her, and almost like he almost found he allowed himself to find her attractive. And it was really awkward because then you had the racial dynamics where you had the white women that were sat on that particular panel. I'm not putting this on the race as a whole, but the white women in particular were like, oh my God, yeah. It was very awkward to watch. And I felt for the Black ladies watching, because I'm like, how do you even react to that? Like, what do you say? Because to me, that's a you problem. I'm not here to fight everybody and their mother when they've got their issues. I'm not here for that. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And that's his problem. And he's ugly as well. So I think he should focus on that as opposed to colour. So he's wasting my time, your time, everybody's time.
And I'll just say, yeah, legit, that sounds like that's his issue. Like, that's got nothing. I can't even study that. Now that I've heard the situation, I can't study that and say, okay, yeah, like, maybe other men, no, like, that's him. You get what I mean?
But you know, the thing about it is a him issue, and he ain't the best looker. I will agree. I'm being nice. M say he ugly. I'll say that he ain't the best looker. You know, and usually is the ones that ain't the best looker and get the feelings hurt that is be spewing such hate. You know, but just to pick up on all of your points, which are very valid points, but on M's point as well, it goes a bit deeper. And it is about self-love, and it is about how we see ourselves and how we as a people have been conditioned to see ourselves. And it is really sad when there are those of us who are not clued on enough to see exactly how psychologically we have been affected, whereby we don't like ourselves. And it is deep self-hate, you know, and when that comes to the fore, it's not nice. It's really ugly. Spice, let me bring you in and get your opinion.
I think one of the main things is your surroundings and like how you've grown up or who you're around. Because if he's got friends that are saying the same kind of thing, you know, they may have just had the one experience. Like, I think a lot of guys, they have this one bad experience and then they're heartbroken forever. So then they kind of turn into this bad guy. Whereas we will have our heart broken so many times, but we still have hope. But the guy that they're broken once and then that's it. So, you know, he may have a group of friends that kind of in the same position. They've had that one heartbreak and they're all kind of saying the same thing. And it for him, he obviously feels fine to say that because he's got some back in there. You know, if it was just him by himself with no backing, you know, in these situations, would he be so brazen to be saying it like that?
Yeah, I also think it's because he knew that he was getting a little 15 minutes of fame, that he blew it up as well, because, you know, hey ho. Yeah,
but also,
platform, you know,
but also he said about the woman that she, you know, she's okay because she's not the stereotype. She's, you know, she's different. So he just I don't know if he's being a hypocrite himself, because he just said you're not the stereotype, which means he is just stereotyping the black girls. He said to the world, oh, you're not the stereotype, so you're okay. So he's not even hearing what he's saying. He's basically stereotyping black girls himself.
He a little confused.
Yeah.
Question. I was a question for Hyper. When you watched it, did you feel awkward for the black lady that was on the panel as well? Because like, what do you even say in those scenarios?
Yeah, like I wanted to know what she was thinking, because she's just sitting there quiet. I wanted to know what she was thinking.
And I didn't think bad of her. I didn't think bad of her for not speaking, but I was intrigued just to know what would go through your mind, because it's like, you know, flight or flight. What do you say in those scenarios when that happens? Because he put her on the spot and he's projecting his viewpoint onto her. That's not her viewpoint. That's him. I didn't like that.
So
I don't know where they get the sorry, I was just gonna say that the whole brazenness to actually fully, you know, bring you down. Yeah, I don't know. I can't understand that.
Yeah, he gets hurt real bad.
One other point, one of you guys said it as well. It's like there's so many podcasts now. We're in that era, isn't it? Especially after the pandemic. People are looking, I think one of you guys just said it, people are looking for that soundbite and for that thing that's going to be controversial. One of you guys have literally just said it. So they're saying, I don't think he's not saying what he thinks. I think he actually does think that, looking at him and like just following up on it and other things that he said. But there's a knowing of what you're saying. He knows what he's saying. It's controversial. When Joe Budden, who's the most controversial person, says what they've got to, like, comes to, you know, Hi So Influential. When he's actually saying that that's wrong, you know that you've messed up.
Of course, of course. Welcome to Influential.
Yes,
Say hello so we can
apologies.
hear you.
Apologies. I was caught up in life that was not in my control. Yeah, I agree with your point, Ems, yeah. And I'm gonna say that them kind of man is who you remember in primary school or prep school, whether you grew up in the UK, the Caribbean, where them man they only have a voice when certain people are around to say certain things. That's them kind of people. You have to be very mindful of them kind of people because they've always thought that, but now they've got a platform around them or they've got an audience, they can say it. And there's a level of toxicity to that that's very dangerous because that's how he genuinely feels. You see me? And it's like, okay, it's like how people see Trump and Trump is well. We know who Trump is, and he shows you who he is openly. My man's just showing you that he's a very toxic person openly, so you can see him for what he is. Thank God for his life. Now we know we don't have to mistake him for nothing. We know set him up to
but
foolishness.
to be
It's
transparent,
very dangerous.
Sorry, he's not actually saying nothing that we haven't heard before. This whole
Exactly.
we've heard this before about black men saying they prefer white women because black women are ratchet, they're this, they're that. I mean, obviously, you're just jumping on the stereotype. I'm going to say it, that's been given to us by white people. So you're actually perpetuating that stereotype and believing it and you're living it out. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
You may be with a white woman, you may have a little bit of access to white privilege and getting a little foot in certain doors and getting.
They have no access to white privilege.
Well, this is the illusion they have that they think.
No, but she's right because Marsh is right because they it's not in terms of race, but there's an intersectionality where there's a privilege. You can be in terms of class and it can be in terms of financial standing. So it doesn't. So these things intersect, and so where he doesn't have that in race, he can have his privilege in other ways. So that's why you can find people that are black that can progress and get through, but their race doesn't hold them back. Do you see what I mean? It's not as limited as that.
I hear you, but
stepping stone and an elevation.
All right,
yeah,
but
because
then,
classes and racism are very intertwined. It's the intersectionality.
But then, who is he trying to have that elevation towards? Who is he looking at and saying, "You're the pinnacle I need to get to"? Black men.
When I looked at his platform, it wasn't just black people. So it was the American audience. So it wasn't just us. Which is why it's probably more hurtful.
But this is what I'm saying as well. Like there's a lot of black men or those particular black men that think that when they couple with a white woman, it's going to take them to a higher place. It doesn't take them to much higher than more than so, because you're not going to get higher. You're not going to get higher than the white man is or allows you to get.
Never.
For example, we've recently seen on the timeline as well, the footballer from, I think he's from Congo, the man dark and beautiful, darker than me. The man over years do the Vibes Cartel thing and bleach his skin to accommodate his white partner or to ensure that he has a white partner and he feels like he's right. We know artists in Jamaica, then bleach them skin for the attention, for the hype. Not because they want to be white, because you being whiter than normal or trying to be albino, you still have the very African features, the very black features. Your nose still big and broad, your lips them still nice and full, your forehead still big. They're still gonna call you, as we say in Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean, old nigger, no matter how much you bleach your skin. So what are you trying? So where is the elevation happening?
If I bring it back, I think the difference is with that particular man that was on the podcast, he's saying it because maybe, you know, the controversy is going to translate into dollars and pounds because, you know, in terms of their advertising, in terms of their reach. Even if you begrudge what he is saying, even if you dislike what he's saying, everybody and their mother has gone and logged into that. But what I didn't particularly like, if I take it back, was there's like a knowing by many people not to say those things, but they do say those things. And we are, not me, I refuse. And my family, I'm going to say, are an exception to this, thank God. But it's not uncommon. I'm even looking in memes this week. Memes always pronounce it incorrectly. Red gal. In Creole, they say shabin. You're all talking about these things and you're all just saying it flippantly, but you're perpetuating these stereotypes. But when he says it, you're taking umbrage, but you're not you, anybody that's on this panel today, but we've absorbed these colonial ideals and we are perpetuating them and we are owning them and saying them with glee and with like red galleries. There's so many looks of black women, whether you're lighter skinned, darker skinned, curly hair, tight coils, I don't really care, all beautiful in your different looks, but we're perpetuating those ideals. And like Marsha said for Upon the Road, nothing he said none of us in this room have not heard before. We have all heard it before, but it's whether we choose to internalize it or take that on book. I personally saw that and was like, no, you're Egypt, brother. I'm not even taking it on book.
Yeah, but it's all about it's still the main important thing is that he has a
and I don't
platform.
think I'm attractive because I'm dark or I'm black. I don't. Like, I like what I look like.
That's true, but you have to remember as well, it's because he has a platform. If he was some little random Jim Bob in the road that was just saying this on a whim, it wouldn't have the same impact. It's because he has a platform, and he's doing it for the two reasons, like you said. One, to generate some traction to the platform, and two, because that's how he feels.
No,
And
I'm
it's
actually
like,
saying
raw.
the opposite. I'm saying the opposite. We're actually saying the same because it does have an impact, because it's like it is being said by Jim Bob on the road, and it's like being said so naturally, like it's part of our common language as Caribbean people to talk about light, and like anybody that's got a proximity to whiteness, we favor. We do as a community. Anybody can argue with me if they like, but it's true. All you have to do is turn up and be white, and then we're going to give you like a pat on the back. And I've got no problem with white people, I really don't. But I'm just saying what I see. And in terms of like looks and perceptions, we do keep, and I'm not including myself, but Shabin, Red Girl, no matter where you stand in that social class, wherever you stand in terms of race, people are talking like this in common language in our communities, like it's nothing. It's in our music, it's in our memes, it's in our common dialect. I don't like it. I personally don't speak like that and don't articulate like that because I have an awareness of like what Giselle said earlier. And I'll end my point here that I have an understanding of the impact of what these things mean and what in turn I'm saying when I relate that to other people. I don't need to project that because that's not how I feel. Whereas for the guy on the podcast, he's telling you what he thinks about himself. He's relaying it to the girl, but it's himself that he's saying it because you do not look like that and you don't have a black mum and you don't have black sisters and black cousins. So what are you saying? That they're ratchet? And it's not to say that there's a sexual relationship there, because obviously it's not. It's a different relationship, it's familial. But you're saying by default that the people in your family are like that as well. So he's talking about himself.
That's right.
By default.
That's right. And that's
Let me be quiet anyway.
to touch on, because he came out of the vagina, a womb of a black woman. You understand? So for him to feel such self-hate goes deep, you know, and this is the thing about being conditioned and not being aware. This is this general level of ignorance that we have. And as you say, that we continue to perpetuate in our community. And the sad part about it is that there are so many of us in our community that are unaware, one, ignorant, two, some of us are aware, but still choose to do it because we are slaves to the almighty dollar. You understand? So we don't have that collective responsibility to break the cycle. And this is why this nonsense is happening. Because when we look at our music, we look at the things that people use to define us, and sometimes we used to define ourselves. We are doing this nonsense to ourselves. And for a man who came out of the vagina of a black woman to say that kind of thing, if he was my son, I would have disowned him. Because you can't tell me that your life, I mean, he probably hates his mom. Because for you to come publicly and say that kind of thing, knowing you come out of a pum-pum, a black pum-pum, that means you had to hate that woman. You understand? Because you can't look, if you had a good childhood with your mom and you love your mom, you wouldn't come publicly and say that kind of nonsense, no matter how much a woman hurt you. You understand? Because you respect your mother.
But then again, the sorry, let me quickly just jump in and say he might argue, this is just me playing devil's advocate, that his mother is not on, like, and using his words, his mother is not on the dark side, the darker side, so therefore it don't apply to her.
Ignorance, exactly. You see the
And
level of ignorance I'm talking about.
he was talking.
That's what he might say.
Yeah,
So
because
then,
if he could look at the presenter and say it, what he is saying does not apply to her, he would say the same shit that it don't apply to his mom. You understand? So that level of ignorance, that level of self-hate, so deep. It's so deep that you could even extrapolate. It's like you know, when certain Caucasian people say to their black friends, oh, they would say something really racist and then say, oh, but that don't apply to you.
Yeah.
So only 2 bills.
So how come you're not in that category?
So only 2 builds on that. So when he was talking about race and not colorism. Sorry, that's just our conversation, because we know that the direct impact of that. So that was the first thing. But then also, it's not my experience, and it might not be the experience of anybody on the panel today, but I have heard about some of these guys, some of the things that they're hearing is because they've heard that from their own moms. Like they're being told some of these things from their own family, like, oh, you should get with that one. She's pretty because she's this. So I didn't talk like that. I didn't have that.
We've all heard it. Mary lighter, or she too dark, or he too dark. Where you going with that? Oh boy, you look like tar, and all them things there. We've heard it growing up, and these things.
Or he have dreads, so you can't marry him. He smoke weed, you can't marry him. He play football, you can't marry him. What? He's a basketball player? No, sir. He's a DJ. Oh my God.
He needs to get a proper job. DJ's not proper job.
She winding up all in Carnival Slayers IG.
So it's not my
Unity FM.
It's not my experience, but I've heard that as well from other people. Like, you have to have that awareness that it's not just them; it's what they're absorbing. It's like nature and nurture. So some of it is he's just a bellend, and then the other parts of it is that he's been conditioned to be a bellend also. You never know what he's been told in his house.
We agree, but could I just say, I'm an idiot. So that's just me. I'm an idiot.
And he's ugly.
And he ugly.
He looked like a crapper.
So, what's his name? Barbados.
Prince Barbados.
He looks like a crapper.
Yeah, Barbados. All you hold on to all your crap.
Big one, eh? Big one.
Hey.
Wait, Lex is from Barbados. You lot can't do him like that. Lex is from Barbados.
Wow. Yeah.
No,
Lex ain't claiming him, man.
No.
I true he likes skin like Lex as well. Lex feeling away. That's why don't let Lex don't say no.
That's why I kept quiet. That's why I kept quiet. I said, nah, let me leave that one. That one, he's one of the people that call that he's from Barbados and all them stuff just because he's born on the island. You get it? You don't count. He's got like 3 friends on the island, bro.
Not counted.
I just want, before we wrap up on this topic, guys, because we need to wrap up on this topic, I just want to bring in Nai to give her 2 cents and Abs to give her 2 cents before we move on to the next topic.
I feel like everyone's covered everything already. Sorry, Emma, were you saying something?
Shane, you're on mute, Abs.
No, but it wasn't she. No, yeah, but we could hear you. You go ahead, Nai.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone, it's covered. But my thing is that or my irritation is it's okay to have a preference. Like if white women is all you date, Indian women is all you date, Chinese women is all you date. Somebody phone.
Hey, put your phone on silent over there.
Not me.
She always do this to me and I do thing. Oh, child.
I don't know whose phone was that.
This is why you black people are ghetto and ratchet, because you do things like this.
The man's right.
My quick question to that is, what are your preferences based on? That's important because people like to say, "Oh, I just have a preference." No, you have a reason why you have a preference.
Yeah. I was actually going to go on to that.
Why have a preference? But yes, please continue.
Preferences technically should be based on what you're attracted to. End of. You know what I mean? It's what you're attracted to, is what you connect with. Huh?
Emma said she wants an aubergine. She wants it big. I don't know. I saying it's
I want
small.
to
It's small.
behave herself in the corner of my screen.
I'm seeing hand movements and actions. I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Emma
But
said she
anyway,
want a big aubergine. I saying I want
Yeah,
a small
she's just
aubergine. I don't
secure.
know.
right.
She said
Okay,
she wants
girl.
the hammer.
Okay.
Being
You clearly
sarcastic.
state your you clearly state your preference. We'll talk about that later. But you lot just went in. Okay. Anyway. Yes. It's what you're attracted to.
What is aubergine?
On the road, we're gonna get to that topic later.
We're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get back to that. Yeah. Right. So it should be based on preferences. Preferences should be based on what you're attracted to and what you connect with. Right. It shouldn't be down to this race, whatever. At the end of the day, as I say, love is love, right? So it's about what you're attracted to and what you connect with. And my irritation is when certain black men are on certain platforms and they are talking about their preferences, they go ham on us. They always like, if their preference is Caucasian, they always bring the black woman down. And I generally, correct me if I'm wrong, but generally I don't see that with other ethnic groups. I don't see that with other races. I don't see, Pete down the pub slating white women if he prefers black women. I've just never experienced it. I've never seen it. And I've been in environments where there are men that prefer other, ethnic groups, other races than their own, And I just find a trend. The trend is certain black men typically do this as standard regularly. We as black women are constantly being put down. Why? Why is it that some of our own brothers bring us down? Like, we've been through so much as it is, as a community, and the last thing we want is our own people to be bringing us down. Black women, as I say, we're 5 times more likely to experience certain things. For example, childbirth, dying childbirth, and all these other struggles that we have to go through. We go to work and we have braids in our hair. It's not been accepted. We have our afro hair. It's not been accepted at work. We've got so many other challenges and struggles. The last thing we want as a community, as black women, is our own brothers to be bringing us down just because they've got a certain preference. That's all I'm saying.
And to add to that as well, I love that. You see, you won't see Pete publicly dissing no white woman because they've already shafted him away and said, well, you're like black woman, all right, cool, move along. And Pete gonna say, what? That's the prize. That's the prize right there. I love me a little Haitian sensation. I love me a little Trini Pilau doubles. I love me a little Dominican boom boom bouillon. Yeah, they love that. They put you on a pedestal and they keep it on and they suck the toe heel high. But it's like, but this is human nature, because when they say Caribbean people love foreign things, remember the black woman is a foreign beauty to the white man. Royalty, realness, what? Exotic. But them say once you go black, you don't go back.
So them say.
Look on the on the stream. No phone still look like when it just turned 29. And fine. And someone will soon turn more than that. Birthday will come up and I'll call it the spicy DJ name. So it's one of those things where we as black men, because we have it, because it's like when you have it, you don't appreciate it. You appreciate foreign things. So it's a very interesting complex to understand. And unfortunately, some people have it. Can we call it? Can we diagnose it as a mental illness? Maybe, who knows? Should we?
Well, psychologically,
that's actually a good question, because again, there is as I've given examples of, in a generic example, that why is it certain black men do have this topic of conversation and bring black women down. And then I just remembered people like 50 Cent, for example. I can't remember the term he used, but he likes women that are very is it tropical? Well, ambiguous, right?
Exotic.
What was the term he used?
Exotic.
Exactly, right. There you go.
That's
He
just
used
a
the term
black
exotic.
woman with a little sprinkle in a white or Asian in
Yeah.
her. It's the same thing.
Right, he said it, and
Yeah.
then Lil Wayne also years ago had said some very outlandish things on Twitter about black women. Yet he's got black daughters. He's been with black women, but he's got black daughters. And that was very ridiculous, very outlandish. And there are many more examples like that, many more. And it's just like, it's just embarrassing. Because again, a lot of the young youths nowadays are looking at people like 50 Cent as a bloody role model. And yet he's going out there saying he likes exotic women.
Should they? They shouldn't. That now is where the community needs to stop that. You don't look at no artist as a role model. The artist never told you when they start writing music, they never said to you, I want to be a role model.
No, but nobody wants to be a role model. Footballers,
no,
they don't
some
sign up
people
to
do.
be role models.
No,
like people in the public eye don't necessarily sign up to be role models, but they are. Like people,
you can't force the role model thing on them. Your
No,
role model.
You can be appointed a role model whether you like it or not. So I agree with Pepper on
You're
this.
in
Whether
that
you
public
put your
figure. People know you because of what you do. So
If
there's going
that's
to
the
be little
case, then
kids that look up to
Lex
you.
Line, you're not my role model.
He's my role model. I think he's
There's always
T-Bone is definitely not my role model.
He's my role model.
T-Bone, I'm too much sus.
No, but the thing about it is, it comes back to the point I was making about that level of awareness and wanting to break the cycle. You see, people, some people are tied to the coins. You understand? They're tied to the bills. So taking that higher level of responsibility, they don't want to do it, even though they know.
No,
I just want to bring in Abs. Wait, hold on. Let me just bring in Abs because Abs, everybody talk on Abs and say nothing. So I had to let
Abs don't like talk. Abs don't like talk. I'm going to say something quickly as well. But again, it's still not the artist or the entertainer's role to raise your child. That's what you as the collective families do. Remember, because as a role model, what do you learn from the role model, right?
So they're connected, but they're mutually exclusive. They're connected, but they're mutually exclusive. And I get your point. So
Abs, let me hear
and I think Tupac was saying this as well, right? I'm a Tupac obsessive. He never chose to be a role model, but in death and in life, he is and he was. You can't fight it because that is what you've been given. It's a role that's been appointed, onto you. That's one thing. But like you said, I feel I would have failed if I've got children and they're looking at certain people in the media to, set their boundaries and to set their moral compass. That's not right to me. But you have to understand, even though I think that, they're not mutually, they're like, they're separate to each other.
I not making Lex or T-Bone be no role model for my picnic them. I am them role model. Straight up. But when T-Bone ready for Skydagger in the ear, me know I'm gonna pick them and follow that.
That's what you've done.
And when Lex ready for cuss and burn him Rastafire, you know want them out burn Rastafire. So
maybe
again,
that's what they need.
There has to be a little balance of it as well. You can't it's too easy to throw that role model rope around people when that's not what they signed up for. They signed up to entertain. They didn't sign up to
that point. No, we get that point, but you must have a certain level.
Yeah, but
responsibility.
But my life is not to set an example for you. My life is to live for me. That's your child. You make sure you're doing good by them, and then boom, boom, boom. Whatever them decide to go to road.
Let me give you.
There's a bit of it, but I feel like sometimes it's a bit too much. I feel.
Yeah, but wait. You're Jamaican, right? What do you think happens in Jamaica when there is like a top artist that's just making bare hits and it kind of represents the ghetto and all that? What do you think happens?
You have a variety of things happen. I'm glad you mentioned that. Good. All right. let's talk about it. You mentioned artists. You're gonna mention Cartel. When Cartel tell you know where is
Yeah.
the love for the black child? Yeah, when he sang that song, where is the love for the black woman and the black child? Nobody did that sing the song.
But why?
But as soon as
Why?
because I saw people stay. But let me continue. As soon as him says straight jeans and fitted, and Clarks are wear t-shirt, everybody go buy Clarks and t-shirt. Them are broke so much shopping in Jamaica, where them couldn't do it no more. When them say drink,
But that's
Jamaica is the one of the only Caribbean islands that drink the most Hennessy in the world. Like them go and study it
yeah.
and say, why do you drink so much Hennessy? Like it's abnormally drunk. Who is influencing that? Who is influencing that? There's a lot of things that hold on. We have an impactful Rasta community, but in the 60s there was burning and killing Rastas in Jamaica. So what y'all tell me now?
Yeah. My point.
Like, so it's. I hear what you're saying. Your point makes sense, but again, it's for you as the people, because people pick and choose what they want to gravitate towards as well.
Can I make
They
a
pick
point?
and
From
choose.
Yeah, but as an artist, as an artist, when you know that you reach a certain level of fame, and you have a community of young people
And
looking
that's
up
why
to
they
you.
give you the variety. They give you that, but I'm saying, T-Bone, I hear what you're saying, and they give you that variety. But people love what they love. They love the badness and the negativity and the excitement. They
Can I
love
just
that.
say,
I see it with my
touching
own
on that?
eyes in Jamaica.
Let
What?
me just say, touching on that, with what Giselle was saying, where we should have some kind of responsibility. I don't necessarily agree, because from an artist perspective, if you stop listening to our music, you don't like it, so then we're going to change what we say. Do you get what I mean? Because that's how we're making our living. We're saying it, you're enjoying it, so we're going to continue to say it. If you stop enjoying it, or you stop showing us that you enjoy it, then we're going to change what we say.
Look, even build on that. Look
that's
at all.
one point. That's one point. But then when it comes to doing interviews and stuff, like there's a dichotomy that we need to address, because
Yes.
I've seen artists perform on stage, and a lot of artists will tell you when they're on stage they have a persona, they're a different person. You understand? And when they're off stage, it's a different person. I've seen Nicki Minaj perform, and I've seen her behave in a way that I wouldn't want my daughter behaving the way how I've seen her perform. But I've also listened to her talk in interviews, and some of the things that she said in a particular interview was very uplifting, because she was talking to young girls and saying to young girls, go to school, get an education, make sure that you're self-independent. It was extremely uplifting. And that's where I talk about personal responsibility and breaking the cycle. Because when you're on stage and you have a persona, like Fleur Insurenfeld said, you're not responsible for raising somebody's child. I totally agree with that. You understand? People need to understand that there's a difference. There's a difference from the stage, and there's a difference from in life. And if me, as an artist, when I'm on stage and I have a particular persona, when I am off stage, bet your bottom dollar that I have that self-awareness and that responsibility as a collective. Because in our community, there is so much that we're battling against, like Nai had said as well, not just women, but as men. There is so much, and that colonialization that has happened, and that colonization of the mind, which has happened over generations, is so ingrained. So we have to be able to be aware to break that cycle. And that's my point. Because this guy wanted his 15 minutes of fame, which is fine. And he could have come on there and talk about his preference without even bringing black women into the conversation.
Definitely.
But that conditioning of the mind is so deep that he couldn't have that conversation without bringing in that debasement of the black woman. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the point that we need to get to, where we have a moment where we are conscious and we said, okay, I am not going to go there.
That's true.
And for me, it's like people just seem that they want to go there. And the reason and the question is, why? Do you hate yourself so much that you have to go there?
It's not just self-hate. Remember, it's a system. It's a system. So, like, going back to combine your point with T-Bone's point, you mentioned in Jamaica. Why are certain artists not big in Jamaica and certain artists are? It's what's allowed to promote. It's what's allowed to thrive. The toxicity is allowed to thrive. The badness is allowed to thrive.
It's promoting it. follow.
Hold on, remember.
Follow
Yes,
the
yes.
what's
Hold on,
so
hold on.
influential. Who is pulling the strings? Don't tell
There you
because
go. I was just about to say,
top
some of it is
strings.
marketing
Who
and
is pulling
Hold on.
promotion.
the
Hold on.
top
Yes,
strings?
yes. We again. You know, everybody. Once you have a certain cadence in your voice and your delivery with music, you will reach the masses. But also at the same time, Chronixx has an amazing set of messages. So does Protege, so does all these other Rastafarian artists, but they don't have the same pull on the general populace like a Idonia, like a Cartel, like a Shensia, like a Spice. Now,
Can I contradict that? Sorry, I've been to
hold
how many?
on.
No, I've been to. I'm gonna be rude.
Go on.
But I've gone to how many Chronixx concerts, and I don't know if I agree with your point because there are people literally around the block. I think we pick and choose what we want to see.
Hold on. I'm not talking about in the UK. I'm talking about in Jamaica.
Okay, but on the global
and then also even on a global market, if we were to do a Cartel concert, and we do a Chronixx concert, Cartel is going to sell out Chronixx 3 times
There's
over.
two different caliber of artists, so in
This is
terms
what
of
I'm saying to you.
and there's you're kind of comparing apples and pears.
No, it's still affecting the same populace of people. It's still affecting the same Jamaican populace.
No, I disagree with that as well. T-Bone,
So
you want to come
when
in?
you're saying is who is it allowed to? Who is it
Can I say
allowed to?
something?
Yeah, go through, bro.
All right. There's one artist you didn't mention. Yeah, I know he's not really he's not new at all, but Bounty Killer is a prime example of being rude, being angry, being ghetto, and being very conscious at the same time. And as you said, an artist that has a very strong voice and delivery, he has all of that. So I know they know him mainly as a war artist, the clash artist, but when he decides to talk about real things, he takes time out of his performances to talk about real things.
All the artists do that, but again, once the show is over, like what Giselle said, and we go back to being a community, ordinary people, the people will still gravitate to what they want to gravitate towards, which is the negativity. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah.
It's the same person you're talking about, Bounty Killer, them rob him right after the show. Nobody now rob Cartel after the show. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. The way how the people deal with things once it's outside of the stage and the glitz and glamour of, oh yeah, all right, this is a moment of elation, this is a moment of excitement, this is a euphoric moment of music and dance and revelry and niceness. When I'm sitting in my yard and I'm hungry, certain songs come to mind or certain things just take me, vice versa. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. It's not always down. There's a bigger system in place that perpetuates certain things. If the music stopped tomorrow, these things will still happen.
Yes, and that is correct. That is correct.
This is what I'm saying. It's dope, and this goes to my point of what system is in place to allow certain things to perpetuate. It's like, again, and I'm talking about the politicians, when they're ready to use the artists to rally votes in, yeah, man, me need Massacre for sing a song for me and talk about the campaign as a dub. Me need Killer for do this. Me need that. That's how Jamaica politics build and grow. And Garrison War start. PNP and JLP. That's how it build and grow.
Yeah.
That's how the war them start. And then it spread out, and then you have these different divisions of gangs, and then it spread come to the UK, and you have shower posse, you have this posse and that posse. It's political warfare.
That's not unique to Jamaica.
No, I know it's not. Yes, I understand that. I'm only speaking to Jamaica Civic because that's where I grew up. So yeah.
No. I mean, Trinidad is the same thing. You know, it's the same
exactly.
thing.
So exactly.
Guys,
so
we need to move on to the next topic in the interest of time because we have plenty to get through tonight.
We didn't get to Abs though.
Abs, do you want to say anything before we just move on to the next?
You know what? On this topic, I don't have much to say, just apart from the fact that I see the Prince of Barbados jumped on someone's live. I think a guy called Farrah Gray or something like that. Don't know if any of you saw it, but he had like a white dog with him, and he went as far as to say, "Yeah, look, I've got my white dog with me." The guy who was like challenging him, he was like, "Yeah, like, I don't give a shit what you like. You look like you're about 70 years old. Like, you're talking shit. Good on you." Like, it's just like, is that how far you're taking it? Is to say like you've got white, like everything in your life has to be white, everything in your life that is white is good? Is that what? So that's it. I just that's it. And I think when it comes down to the podcast he was on initially, where we saw the clip, it's almost like he wanted the woman to feel like he was paying her a compliment or something, but that's not a compliment. You know what I mean? Or I don't know if he felt awkward because maybe he said it and then thought, oh shit, she's the only black girl here, so now I've got to try and change it, make it something, get a positive out of it. But that's all it is. We hear it all the time. So I'm just like, good, you stay with your liking your white women if that's what you want to like, and we'll stay over here. That's fine, no problem.
Yeah.
And the white dog.
We will award him Kakahole of the Week and Idiot of the Century. So moving right along and talking more and keeping things hot and peppery in the hot sauce episode. Again, welcome to all our viewers who are tuned in and watching us. Please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And of course, drop your comments and your 2 cents in the comments, and we will address them. If you have any questions to the panel as well, put a question. But, we thank you for being with us. And we hope that you will stay for the whole show because we have some more things to talk about, including Drake and Prince Andrew. And I'm sure you don't want to miss that. So keep with us. We just want to move on to the relationship thing. Now, I mean, we've all been in relationships. And, the nature of relationships between couples is very dynamic and always changing. And I would say in the past, probably about a decade or so, or 2 decades or so, women have been coming more to the fore in terms of relationships and putting themselves out there a bit more. And, we've seen in some instances where women have proposed to their partners, which is a switch from back in the day because, I grew up and in my time it was
Love it.
The man proposing to the woman, the traditional sense.
Born tradition.
What we see now where women are proposing and women are taking the lead.
I don't want to see the mega knees. I want to see the one knee in the sand. Put a ring on my hand.
Me not do it.
Don't worry upon the
I just
road.
want to talk about.
Me not do it.
Just want to talk about should women continue to take the lead in the forefront and be proposing to their man.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
Yes. That's what
I don't mind.
Yes.
I don't mind. I don't.
You know why I say yes here?
Hell to the no.
Bigger than tradition and all them stuff. Sorry, I kind of jumped in here, but just because this is a good one, I like this one. The reason why I say yes, personally, is because me being the kind of person I am, I like to see my woman show courage when courage is necessary. If you want me to be a part of your life like that and you feel the need to show that courage, show it when it's necessary.
Show me.
Do you get what I mean? So I understand the traditional sense, but that's my thing, innit? I just wanted to throw that in there. But to answer the overall point, yes.
Yes.
My really quick
Happy
question.
to show a number of different things. That ain't one of them.
We're going to disagree, but we don't care.
Wait, influential. Wait. So Lex, she proposed to you?
No.
Waiting.
She proposed. You're still waiting.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm chilling.
With the courage,
That was so vague. Like, why would you think it's them?
I'm chilling.
I hear you, John Party. Yes. She proposed to you, influential.
Me, I'm single. But if a woman proposed to me, I would happily accept. And I'm not going to say I'm waiting for her to propose to me either. If I'm ready to propose to you, I will propose to you. And if you're ready to propose to me and propose to me, I will take it.
Nice.
I'm not going to say to you, you're less of a woman or you're being masculine because you proposed to me. No. When we're talking about all these traditions that we're holding on to, we have to be very careful because you don't want tradition as and when you feel. You want it subjectively or particular to you or as when you know. Because my grandmother, back in the day, so this is very recent, she couldn't buy a house in her name. She had to buy it in her husband's name.
Yeah.
We're not depend on that. So when you don't want tradition, how much do you really want it? is it really beneficial in this day and age? There's a
I
lot
want
of things
tradition
that
in
women
the
they
house.
want as tradition, and it don't make sense. Hello, first and foremost, if you're chick tradition, that means you shouldn't work. Only I should
No,
work.
I said
And
I
you
want
do
black tradition. Him for
and you do as I say.
Say
So when I
yes.
say when I come home and I say shut your mouth, you shut your mouth.
No,
All right, you don't want tradition. You don't
no.
want tradition. Because that
No,
was
I said
tradition.
I want
Remember,
that
what is
tradition.
tradition? You
That's
see, that's
funny.
what I'm talking about. You lot are picking and choosing what
Yes,
aspects of the
I'm
tradition
picking
you
and
want.
choosing.
No, and that's all I've got. If
Yeah,
you're gonna
what
dash your
I got.
tradition, dash it away completely, and let us make our own
Why do you
union.
have to dash it away completely? That's just saying like.
Listen, hold on.
That's just saying. Oh,
Because-
I like cake, but I don't like cake. But you know, you have all the flavors, but you like one, you like two, you like three. Why do you have to like all the cakes? Just because you like
Yeah,
cake,
let me not lie. I wouldn't say.
I like that tradition.
Yes.
Let me not lie. I wouldn't say that shit
And this
away.
is what I'm saying. You lot are
completely,
picking
I
and
mean,
choosing.
Yes, I am
and
picking and choosing. I'm not denying
you
So
that.
I'm with
can't pick and
Pipe
choose
on
a
this
tradition
one.
like that. Nah,
I'm with
you can't
Pipe
do
on.
that
I'm
because
definitely with Pipe on that one.
because when men start to do that now, so then we said that. So when men do it, as Lex and I've just said, and say, yeah, propose to us. You're like, no, what kind of shush?
But no, I'm not
You
saying
want the tradition. You want the equality. Let's have it equal and balanced. I'm a Libra.
No, we
Everything
didn't.
has
No,
to
we're
balance.
not talking about
If
equality.
you want
All
it
we're
like that,
talking-
let's
no,
do it like that.
No, we're not talking
Why you
about
can't take?
equality.
Hold on. When was the last time one of you women take a man out on a date
Mate,
and you pay for everything? Just
The
a
last-
date is a man
the
where
last
you like,
Long time
you
ago.
like
Make
him,
Make sure you can see my
and he
both
and you did it first.
If it's
Hold
my
on, let me
boyfriend,
add.
I'll do it.
Let me
So I'm
add.
not taking
Let's
out a
add.
boyfriend.
And T-Bone, look at the thing. He said,
No
"Abs not talk."
Now watch now. Not
Hold on, let
only
me
I
add.
drove in my
Let
own
me
car.
add.
I drove in
I
my
think
own car.
Influencer, shut up.
That is not a problem.
It's
I buy him
it's the
gift.
first date as
Shut
well.
up.
It has to be the first date.
Mute
And it's the
him.
first time you're going out on a date and you
first
pick
date.
him up. You
No,
pay.
no,
You pick
no.
him.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay, you want to take it
How
then?
many
You want
times?
to take
How
it on
many
the
nah,
first
but you
date?
know what?
How
Nah, but
many
you know
Okay,
what?
but
times?
my
These
How
thing
guys
many
is,
don't know.
times?
my thing
How
is,
many times?
whoever asks, whoever
Don't
asks,
try to do the 50 Cent thing. Don't try to do the
whoever
whoever
asks.
asked.
No.
Because
Wait.
women are never asking. Women are
No,
never
but this is what
asking
I'm
because
saying.
they
Whoever
want
asks,
Wait,
spoiled.
influential. Wait,
the
hold on.
person
Wait,
who asks,
wait, hold on.
yeah, should be the one
Okay,
that
this is how we
pays.
go. Ole, getting excited.
Let's go
Wait.
round. I can't hear a word. Go
Exactly. Wait, I am the moderator here. Wait.
round. Go round.
So mute, bro. Mute.
Okay,
You
Mama
understand?
Gigi.
Hold
Mute.
on,
Bro.
on mute. Right. Okay, this is how we're going to run it. Now you're going to speak. I know T-Bone wanted to come in, so we're going to go nine influential. Hush your mouth and wait. Nine.
I was just listening though.
Wow, hush your mouth and wait, you know.
Nah,
Okay.
but
So
yeah,
here's
no-
my thing. Here's my thing. If it's me, would I propose to a man? Hell to the no. Hell no. No. Right? That's number one. But would I take a man out on a date and pay for it and all of that? I ain't got a problem with that. I haven't got a problem with that. Like Hyper said earlier, with I like cake, but but do I like ginger cake? No. But I like lemon, I like chocolate, I like strawberry. You know what I
Why
mean?
you
So
like ginger
like,
cake?
come on now, we can't be talking about equality in this situation because
yes, we can.
I know it may come across as maybe a slightly sexist, me saying this. So do forgive me. I do apologize in advance. But I just feel when it comes to commitment and taking the additional steps in a relationship, women are usually predominantly more ready to take those steps. They're usually earlier to take those steps than the man, right? So in terms of us as women, and I'm just saying, I know, like I see you, Sir Influential, I see you, right? But all I'm saying is this, yeah, when it comes to a relationship and you're seeing someone and then you get to the next level of going out with them and it's official and all of that, I feel that usually, and I'm saying usually, that the woman feels ready sooner than the man.
Okay.
Okay. in a majority of cases. Okay. I see,
All
right?
T-Bone.
So imagine now I'm ready to get married. And then, like a dickhead, I then go and propose on one knee to the man. Wait a second. If he was ready for that, he would have proposed before I proposed. That's the way I see.
He would
End
not.
of.
He would not want. He would not want the milk and just not buy
And I ain't
the
Conversation to kind of
exactly, and I'm not having
age.
me. I can't take embarrassment. So I'm
T-Bone,
not having no
answer
man tell me
wisely.
no.
T-Bone,
I wouldn't
answer
even chirp a
wisely.
man. First,
T-Bone,
I wouldn't even.
answer
This is how far
smartly.
I go. I wouldn't even chirp a man. You think I could go and say, "Hey, what you say?" Like chirp a man? You mad? Nah. And I've never had to do it. I ain't planning to do it either. Nah. I'm never. That's another thing I would never do. Is shoot my shot. I see marriage proposals as shooting your shot. Nah. It's a no for me.
All right.
I
T-Bone.
just let me just give me 2 seconds to process. Yeah. Okay. So,
What I'm gonna say is that me now do it. Me now ask no man for marry me. They must know how I stay. If you're in a relationship with me, you gotta know how I stay. I like little old-fashioned things. I'm gonna do things for you too. But see, if you're in a relationship with me, you must know how I am. I know how you are. Okay, and I'm just not cut from that cloth. Me now do it. Me now get down on one knee and ask her nothing. I'm not doing it. I don't have business about equality, modern. Me now do it.
Wait, T-Bone. Hold on.
So basically, right now,
Wait. Abs, would you do it? Yes or no? No, it's a no from Abs.
I've been married. I'm divorced, so I know I'm talking about. Me now do it.
Yeah, wait. Ems, would you do it? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, it's a no from Ems. Spice, would you do it? Yes or no?
They're all gonna say
I'm
no.
actually
We know
not
this
opposed-
already.
I'm actually
This is
not
not
opposed
fair.
to it.
It's 7 women against 3 men.
No,
I'm not opposed to it. Like I feel like
you see,
if you feel like you want to, do it. However, I do agree with Naomi in the fact that you're normally ready sooner than guys, and so if you're ready, it really doesn't mean that he's ready. So you are. I say that you're kind of taking a bit more of a chance. You have to really know that this guy is gonna say yes, kind of thing. If you don't want that,
because you know they just take long. They usually take longer. They're not at that point where the women are usually at that point. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. T-Bone, I'm gonna go to you. Then Lex, so influential, I'm gonna get the last word on this one. All right. So let the other two go first, and then they go have the last word. All right, T-Bone, the floor is yours.
So I heard that you guys don't want to ask first because you, in your heart and mind, might feel ready, but you don't know if the guy will be ready, right? So you're not sure if he's gonna say yes or no. So that's the main problem, isn't it?
No, I'm just not do it.
Isn't it? No.
Not for me.
For me,
All right.
that's for me.
So
for me, it's not that. It's even forget genders. It's a rejection thing. So none of us, most people don't want to be rejected. If you shoot your shot, whether it be dating or whether it be a marriage proposal, who wants to feel the shame or the embarrassment? I'm not talking for other people, but that is a part of it.
So
I can be on mute and go like
can we take the rejection then? So can we take the rejection then? Is that what you think? Can we take the rejection?
I don't know.
Are we supposed to take the rejection?
No, I don't think that's cool either, because I think it's just the more societal norm is that the guy will be the one who would shoot his shot. So I'm not saying that you should or you should
norm,
but that's the norm that the guy shoots his shot. But I personally forget gender. You know me, if I'm not shy to say what I think or what I do, but when it comes to like relationships, I'm not one to be forthcoming. If I don't like anybody, and when I do like someone, I'm not gonna shoot my shot like that or let them know unless they show me that they like me, because it's just a personality thing as opposed to a gender thing. But I don't think guys should take the burden of feeling shame or this, but it's a cultural thing and a societal thing that guys generally shoot their shot. Guys generally are the ones to propose. I'm not going to propose because I personally, Emma, forget woman, forget black, forget any of that. I'm not comfortable. That's just not me. It's not my personality type. That's why I won't do it.
Well, in my situation, I'm in a relationship. She asked me. Usually, I'm the one who asks because obviously, you know, in our tradition, we go first. But just like you, I'm the kind of person I don't like to shoot my shot without knowing what I'm doing. So I will prolong the thing, you know, just do whatever I have to do. You just see how things are evolving until I feel like she's ready. But for this relationship, she asked me and she felt no way about it because in this day and age, I don't think it should be a problem for either one of them, I'm saying the man or the woman, to ask because we are on the same level, literally. And sorry?
I agree with you. It's just that is not what I would do. I don't feel comfortable. I don't think there's anything wrong in your lady asking you that. It's just I'm not projecting to her no insecurities. Do you know what I mean? But at least I'm more open about it. Other people will kind of maybe mask it, but I'm just like, I don't want to be rejected. What if they don't? And like, no, I don't have to. Like, people will come and approach you, so I don't have to do that. But if I had to, I'd be like, nah.
So could I just be a little fast because I'm from Trinidad and we
I'm fasting too with you.
So she do it the romantic and thing, get on one knee and thing and push champagne and thing, or it was just a dry kind of will you marry me kind of thing? How it was?
Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't marry me. It was more like I think 2 months down the line after seeing each other, she was like, "Do you want to be my boyfriend?" I was like, "Whoa!"
Okay.
Yeah. No,
listening.
No.
You see why women had to talk to you?
No, but
I'm not listening. I can't wait.
The topic is about is marriage. Asking the question: would you ask your partner to marry you? Should a woman ask her male partner to marry
she said
her?
she would. She said she would ask me. She said once I feel ready and I see that you're waiting for too long, I will ask you.
No,
she said that to me.
Good to her.
You've had a conversation, so you kind of both on the same page. That is fine. That's a difference. There's been a whole build up to it. It's not like you've just been going out for a couple of weeks and she just turned around and said, "Marry me," just so.
Nah.
I'm just like with it.
There's been a build up and you're kind of working in the same direction. I don't think there's wrong with it. I personally wouldn't do it because, like, as I said, I know how I stay, and the person I'm with is gonna know how I stay too, and just know that I'm gonna give him hints and directions and pointers and literally drag your ass down to the ring shop. But you're not doing what ring I want, the size, the color, everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Lex.
All right. So, firstly, like I said, my answer is yes. I do feel that women should do it more frequently. As for me personally, before I get on to other parts, do I want my partner to ask me? No. Reason being, I want that to be me. Like, I'm the kind of person where it needs to be like, I will know when it's time. You might will give me a sign when it's time, innit? I don't want that to be rushed. I don't want that to be forced. Like, it's one of them things. But genuinely, in terms of rejection, I get that. I do get that. But at the same time, we have to hold the same L. Do you get what I mean? It's just that it's become the norm that men hold the L more frequently than women. That's all it is. Because same way that a woman might not ask you to go on a date first, it's the same thing. Do you get what I mean? If a man, like, how many times has a man asked you to go on a date and you told him no? I'm sure every lady in this chat has told a man no probably about 10, 15 times.
So influential. Why is your face up in the screen, sir?
No, but the thing about it is, it have some men that ask you out on a date when they now meet you, like literally.
Yeah, but you have to understand. Me asking you on a date doesn't necessarily mean I'm trying to marry you. No, I want to get to know you in a sense where we're not like talking on the phone or like me personally. I'm not a person where I want to sit here and message you. Come, let's go and get a munch. Let's go and like go for a drive or something and talk person to person.
Oh,
You know
yo,
what I mean?
I've been in the supermarket where I was in the supermarket in an aisle and another guy crossing, coming down the aisle, I go in the opposite direction. He see me, he stop and is like, start to talk to me. I want to go on a date. What, bro, we just passed each other in the aisle in the
Yeah,
supermarket.
but
I mean,
how
come on,
else
you
is
want
he
to,
gonna get to know you?
you want to go on a date already?
How else is he gonna get to know you?
To be honest, I'm still waiting for something like that to happen to me. I want those kind of random stories where I'm just on a park bench and some dude comes next to me, or I get on the plane by myself and I'm sitting next to a guy, or I'm in the supermarket getting my carrots and the carrot drops and I want those stories. Like, I don't get that. I want that. Someone do that to me,
No, but
I
you know,
don't
on
know, I was
level,
just
how
picking up on
else is he gonna get to know you though? Otherwise,
Huh?
how else is he gonna get to know you otherwise?
Well, the next time we bounce up in the supermarket, they come familiar.
I mean,
Giselle, you saying Trinidad, so you're gonna buck the same person in the supermarket tomorrow, next week. He might, for all you know, he might fly on holiday on Thursday.
Well, that your business. That business if you fly. Look, next time I bounce you up in the supermarket, make care how good looking is. You understand? The first time I go in my way, you go in your way, you see me, you stop and you want to go on a date. No, it don't go so. Next time I see you, then it's familiar. I go stop and talk to you, and then we can see where we going.
I feel that is part of the problem as to why women do not do these things, because you lot are too fast to turn around and say, "Nah, but you get what I mean?" Like, I know I see bare man them, the man them are nodding right now, but you're too fast to assume that because he says to you, "Okay, cool, let's go for a drink," that he wants something. Do you get what I mean?
Usually they do.
Yeah, this is it. You believe they do. You believe they do. If I see you and I think you're attractive, my first thought isn't, "Okay, cool, let me make this girl my wife." Personally, my first thought is, all right, well, I don't know you from nowhere, so clearly I need to get to know you.
Yes, but the way you come across, there is a knack to it. Because
So what I want to understand, okay, now we're having this conversation, what I want to understand for everybody that's watching as well, what exactly are we supposed to do then? How are we supposed to get to know you?
You make small talk and you make it look as if you don't really
in the supermarket between the milk and the carrot them. Give me your number, I will going out.
Come on,
I mean, I prefer the direct approach. I prefer if he just came and said, "Oh, hello, blah, 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 blah. Like to exchange numbers, like to go out for a drink or a meal or something." And then we talk and arrange that and we go out. I don't mind that.
Hyper Spice, drop the carrot, please. I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm going to supermarket tomorrow.
Yeah, drop the carrot and they'll just bend. You know how you bend? Bend.
I'm not dropping no carrot. Sorry.
But I do think it's about approach as well, because
of course,
if you meet someone for the first time, it is a bit mad. It's a bit, you kind of a bit guard up if they want to take you out one time. But it also depends on how you approach
how
it.
They say it, how they approach it.
I tell you, I walk in, so you walk in, so you walk in. So how come you see me and spot me to backtrack with your trolley to then telling me you want to go out? But bro, you was walking, so going by the vegetables. I was walking, so going by thing. How come you just want to stop and tell me?
You like we see.
Yeah.
Okay, quick question for everybody here. So we're in the age of dating websites, right? So when I was younger, it was more normal. It was more of the norm for somebody to approach you. It was more the norm for the man to drop his carrot and for me to bend down that hyper and pick up the carrot. Whereas now it can be a little bit more awkward and not as natural for people to just bump into each other, because it will be. So I've even seen it, like people on dating websites will be more comfortable shooting their shot and swiping on you there than approaching you in real life, because it's a different time. It's almost like that was more of like 15, 20 years ago, whereas now it's a different era where dating websites are more the norm and the interactions are more social media. The interactions have changed, even though we still want the same outcome, it's different.
That's a good
Same
point.
thing, but different, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a very,
But
very good point.
Giselle, to follow up with what you said, yeah, one time I met a young lady on the bus that was, I think,
How
about 2 years
young?
ago,
How young,
and
Jane?
about two and a half years ago, I think.
Oh,
And
no, I think you said young lady. I was just trying to make sure you ran enough.
and then this is not something I do usually. You know, when I see a young lady on the bus, even if she's cute, I don't approach her like that. But as soon as I sat there, we were the only ones on that part of the bus. She asked me for something basic. I don't remember what it was. And then from there, we started talking. We realized that we had a lot in common and all
That's
that.
the old chestnut.
And yeah, and at the end of the conversation, we literally we spoke for like 15 minutes. She gave me a number, and I didn't have anything in mind. Literally, I was just talking to her, and then now we're cool, we're friends.
It was nice and organic, and it wasn't corny.
Yeah.
That's the thing. What I'm saying is sometimes guys come across corny, and when they come across corny, especially with me, I'm sorry. You know, it ain't gonna work. And to be honest, I ain't really looking for no man neither. So I good. You was going by your vegetables, go by your vegetables and leave me alone. You understand? But anyhow,
I can go buy the vegetables, but I can't be corny. What you want?
It's corny getting the vegetables. It's corny. Abs coming and then influential. Abs, say what you have to say.
I was just gonna say, for me, it's all about approach beforehand, conversation beforehand. Like, if you're talking to me about, this looks nice, that looks nice, I think I want to do this and that to you, you know, then you're asking me to go out for a drink. No. But if it's genuine conversation, we're vibing, conversations flowing, then you know what I mean, why not? But I think it is about the kind of how they set it up, really, for me.
All right, the floor is yours. You're rubbing your hands. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, this is brilliant. Cool. Now, why are men always pushed to be the sacrificial lamb in these things heavily? Why? You roll your eyes till them roll back.
Yes, we're gonna roll them.
And to Trinidad. Because that don't make sense. Then you wonder why I gave everybody their time. Give me my time. You like to jump on me like I'm a bouncy castle.
Me? Projection. Look, projection. Okay.
Music. Stop it now. Stop it. You're coming up with your lyrics now. Stop it. Behave.
Right.
I like that. Wait, I think I'm going to put that in a song. Bounce on me like a bouncy castle. I like that.
Give me my 1% credit.
What's that?
1% credit for life.
That's so
I want to feature the video.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I will let you speak in a moment, because I know you're going to give me a good point to go on. Yeah, I feel like when this happens, it further perpetuates the notion that men can't show their emotion, men can't this, men can't do that. It's like, if you as a woman, as another human being, don't have the confidence to approach me and speak me and handle rejection like I'm expected to handle rejection, how are we going to move forward in the course of life? So it just doesn't make sense. Ademir Banner, people have lost their art of conversation and are very happy behind the screens. So when they do stop you on the road to market, it can come across as a bit weird, corny. That is a very British thing. Y'all don't like conversation unless you're of a certain age. Y'all, if you're 40 and under, who are you? If you're older than 40, you're very warm and friendly. So I don't know why that is over here, but you can have conversations. It's normal.
I always warm and friendly. I always warm and friendly. Even when I reject you, I warm and friendly. Sorry, go ahead.
God bless you, Giselle. We appreciate that. Corn and all. So why should men always be subject to that thing of, you know what? No. And eventually then when men are not forthcoming, aka we take long to propose, it's an issue again. So like Lex said, where do we draw the balance? How do we get the right point? You're saying it's corny to ask you out on a date in the supermarket, but if you come to and say, hey girl, you're looking real good, I will pound you.
No,
Same thing.
I didn't say it's corny for him to ask me on a date in the supermarket.
You
So
said
you're
no.
missing
You
the
said it's
point.
corny for him to ask you on a date when you first meet you in the supermarket in the aisle by the milk.
With
That's
no
what you said.
small talk, with no small talk, with no.
Of course,
with
it's going to
no
be small
something
talk. He's going to say,
dry,
"Oh, you're
just so.
beautiful, darling. I would love to
And
take you on a date," because he knows already. Because hello, the supermarket is not the time or place, and he's letting you know straight. He's not wasting time. He wants you to know raw. I want to take you out somewhere where you can sit and have a proper conversation. He didn't say come. He didn't say come line by me or come check me now, babes. You look real smooth. I want to rub it on like cocoa butter and shea
So
butter
when
mix.
you would do that, you would just see a woman dry, just so. Ain't say no names.
I ain't dry. You see,
Nothing
you
at
see how my
all.
lips
And the
them?
first thing coming out your mouth is you want to go on a date. Honestly?
Yeah, I tell you, you're beautiful. You're lovely. I want to spend some time with you. Let's go on a date. Because if I say to you, if I say come to my house and sit down and watch me clip my toenails, you're gonna be upset. And I can't come to your house straight away. So we're going on a date.
Yeah, but
Because women all over social media, they'll tell you, oh, why are men trying to make you come to their house the first time to link up? So date it is first thing straight away. Let's not waste time, baby girl. We grown. You look sexy. Giselle, your hair nice. Your lips sweet. We're going on a date. I want to see how you sexily drink the cocktail while I talk to you about life and soap and calypso. Pondy Road, I want to see Pondy Road. When we in St. Lucia and you're on the road, when the road done, I want us to go Denry to that bar on the hill. Yeah, we're not wasting time. Ems, we in Dominica. We're going down there.
You're not coming, Dominica. You're not coming.
I'm coming, Dominica.
You're not coming, Dominica. Stay there.
Come in Dominica.
You're not coming.
Even better, come Jamaica then. I can take you to Jamaica.
I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Jamaica 4 times.
Ganja. Yeah. So
I
there's a
love
lot
Jamaica,
of these
but
things.
you're not coming, Dominica.
I'll come, Dominica.
No, you're not. You're not coming. You're not.
All right. You see. But yeah, I feel like for men, the goalpost is always being moved for us all the time, and it doesn't make sense. Like there needs to be, if you want to be traditional, let there be a standard set in stone traditional way, and you accept it and done. Back in the day, it was my fine lady. I would love to spend some time with you. Come, let's go down to this pub down here or this castle, or let's go for this horse ride. So why is it now in 2022, if I say to you, come, let's go Satay Bar straight away after meeting you at Soca Brainwash, there's a problem?
No, you meet
Soca
Brainwash first. You're meeting Soca. That's what I tell you. You say you're meeting Soca Brainwash. That's
Soca
why
Brainwash,
I told the guy the next time I bounce you up in the supermarket, you understand? The next time I bounce you up, we all right, we good to go. But that's you bring us quite nicely onto the next topic, which is about how we talk about sex in our community. Because
it's beautiful. Caribbean men are the best sweet talkers.
Yeah,
they're better than the French. They're better than
the they tick like modern
cornmeal porridge on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You're sweet like cinnamon when they just get scratched off. And
you ever had a woman chat off and tell you you're nice like dark chocolate and thing?
Yes. And I love it.
You love it?
Yes. Because it's confidence. Men like confidence. Where's your confidence?
So do you think that
your energy? Where's your persona?
Do you think that you're giving women
are you a doormat?
Confidence then? Do you think that you're empowering women by describing them in that way?
Yes, I am promoting and highlighting your natural, beautiful features that some women from another demographic spend thousands of pounds to inject every month into their face. Hello, sweetness, darling. Where can say douche, the way she wine and roll. Yes, tip on the road like that from your wine to your hair. Show me the afro. Yes, there. See there. Flick it back, Ebson. I love it. I've been yes. Take your flowers. Take your carrots. Take the sweet talking. That's how we serenade. I'm not talking to you. Hello. Yes, of course. And that's what I'm saying. There's a difference. Of course. Some women don't like it, the raw around you, and some women do. Some women do. And some men like that but most men like the confidence. Have some interaction. Show your persona. What are you like?
So in real life,
No.
you're very confident. Or everybody in this room, in this chat, is confident in their own ways. Not everybody has that. So what you want people to have a persona that's not them. So then are you not
No.
starting from a position that's not naturally you? Because I can be quite confident in the life and soul of the party in some respect. You too. Everybody here, but not everybody is, and some people are introverts. So to say that is like it's too sweeping, and it doesn't really. It's not real life to me.
But you've
I don't
just
want somebody to be like me for me to
okay,
engage with
fine.
them. They don't
That's
have to
fine.
do that.
But
You
then
could be like the guy in
very
the back who's
sweeping.
like kind of quiet, and we can get along fine.
Fine. Cool. But then it's the same as saying that's the same sweeping that all men have to go through, where all men should approach the women
No,
first.
that wasn't my point. My point earlier was, and if you listen to me, my cheeky point was that that's not us. That's a societal thing. So it's a cultural
we are
thing,
the
a
society.
societal thing.
We
No,
are the
listen.
society.
We are, but listen to my point though, so you get where I'm coming from. So that is imposed on men, not necessarily by me or anybody in this room, because it comes from a
No,
society.
it is imposed by people in this room. They're looking at their head is cocked like now. It is imposed by them. They want you
But
to.
why are you not listening to me when I'm talking to you?
Oh,
I'm talking
But I
to.
haven't finished my point and you're still talking.
Sorry.
Listen, what is
Go
my
on.
point?
Sorry.
What's my
Sorry.
point? Okay, so my point being that it's imposed on guys, whether it's right or wrong, it's the structure that's imposed on guys that it makes it more the norm for you to approach women than it is for me to approach guys. I'm not saying that's right or wrong in our eyes, but that is more of the norm. That's what happens. So we're talking about when you've got the exceptions, and that was the question today, wasn't it? How would you feel about women doing it? And that's when we were talking about shooting your shot, not in terms of just relationships, but in terms of marriage, and that's when we were specifically saying sorry, when we were specifically saying that I wouldn't feel comfortable and my reasons aren't gender specific. I took it away from that because that's not really how I am and how I articulate. But just me in general, as Emma, I wouldn't do that because I don't feel comfortable. And then I'm quite honest, as confident as I am, you can say what you like about rejection or being shy and whatever, but I don't feel comfortable. Even though I don't have to do it, I don't feel comfortable shooting my shot to somebody, and I haven't had to. So I've had the luxury of being a woman and not having to do that because people will still come my way. Do you see what I mean? So whether I like it's like privilege. Whether you like it or not, you have the benefits of the structure. That's how
And that's
society.
not fair. And that doesn't make sense.
Racism's not fair. Classism's not fair, but it's a societal structure.
And that's why we're having the conversation to encourage people to not live within those norms anymore. And you can grow and develop and change.
So let me just bring it back a little bit because we went a little bit off track in terms of when we talk about sex. We're bringing it back to sex because in our community, when we talk about sex, my question is the way we talk about sex disturbing? And
no, it's not.
Well, you said no, it's not. I want to hear Lex. I want to hear Spice. I want to hear Abs. In that order, please. What do you guys think?
Is it disturbing? No. Just because, like, from my perspective, we're just describing it. Like, it's not okay. Cool. Yeah, we might be describing it in a vulgar manner to some people's eyes, but to other people's eyes, we're just being brutally honest. Like when you really break it down, like if we're talking about sex, for example, and we're talking about how we talk about sex, like most of the time we're just describing it. Like, yeah, cool. We say certain things that might be bad. Like I do it sometimes. We say certain things that might come across bad, but if you understand us, you know it's not coming from a vulgar place. It's just me describing. Just like Influential said, where he said like you're sweet like cinnamon. Do you get what I mean? It's just it kind of just rolls off your tongue like that. It's not.
Yeah, but sweet like cinnamon is nice.
That's a nice thing to say.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not really vulgar like that. To be fair.
Yeah, that isn't
maybe
vulgar.
That's why I got it from that kind of perspective because I'm not really vulgar in that sense.
Yeah.
But, that's my perspective on it. Anyway, I don't have a huge amount to say on that. To be fair.
Cool, Spice. What about you?
So I don't really think I've had guys really kind of talk to me in that vulgar way as such. But at the same time, there hasn't really been much romance. It's just kind of there. It's just, yeah, there hasn't really been a lot of like, you know, them trying to seduce me or woo me kind of thing. Though I had one person say, I can't wait to make love to you. I think one person has said that. And I was like, oh, that's quite nice. But again, like you know, you don't often get that kind of thing. But I want more of that, because even my ex, there wasn't. I mean, there was no. He was like, the chemistry and everything was there. You know, the attraction was there, but there was no kind of like wooing. You know, I'd be more wooing him than the other way around. And I want some of that. I want some of that. You know, I want some of that specialness. A
little bit of romance, a little bit of tenderness.
Yeah, like the thing is, I will describe things as well, but I'm not vulgar. I'm not that kind of vulgar person at all. So, but I will still describe in very much detail, like, you know, the things that could happen, what I want to happen. So, but yeah, but I personally haven't had that kind of way spoken to me. But maybe it's just because of the people that I'm around. I don't really speak like that myself, so maybe they don't really come like that towards me. I don't know.
I'll tell you guys about an experience I had when I was very, very young. Abs, let me come to you, and then I'm gonna come to Marsha.
So for me personally, I'm pretty sure I've had guys speak to me in a vulgar way, because I'm sure I've complained about it to my friends and stuff. But and so I'm sure everyone has that whole thing where someone will say something, then you send a screenshot to your friend or whatever. But it's like, I think if I'm in a relationship with that person, then it's different. But it's not something I always necessarily want to hear from someone outside of a relationship. Do you see what I'm saying? And sometimes it starts off as a bit of banter or whatever, but then when you start ha-haing and kikiing about it, it just gets taken further and further and further, to the point where you're getting, I've had videos sent to me and I'm just thinking, like, I didn't ask for this, but because I'm just trying to laugh with you and leave it as that, you're just continuing it on, and it's not really necessary. So that's my point on it. But if I'm in a relationship with you and we're doing our thing or whatever, you say whatever the hell you want, that's cool. But aside from that, nah, it's not for me.
Cool. Marsha.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a stranger, a guy I don't know, I beg, don't come up to me and say anything stupid like, yeah, I want to take it back and stab out your front, you know. Don't talk to me like that. Talk to me nice, but do not talk to me at all. It's not happening. And it doesn't actually really often happen to me with complete strangers. Like, normally they keep it, you know what I mean, a little cheeky, but not downright just out of place. That's overstepping the line. Now, if we're in a relationship, yeah, ups and downs. Some days I want lovey-dovey, cuddly stuff. Other days I want you to tell me, you got to bend me over. Yes, and I said, come, bend me over now. You understand? So it depends where you are. Oh, God, what happened to this man here?
He said, bend over. We can't
yes. No, but if we're in a relationship, it's cool, because obviously there must be, you can't just keep having the same old type. You've got to spice things up, you know, a little bit of variation. So like in a relationship, yeah, some days I do want a little rough and a little naughty talk and come tell me two things. And other days I want it all sweet and nice. But for a stranger, you know, you can't approach me like that. It's not going to come across well if I don't know you. That's the first thing that's coming out your mouth. It's going to put me off you. Yeah, but yeah, I'm easy going. I'm not too bad. Oh, I'm there.
What is that, lubricant?
Oh,
is that? Is that baby oil?
It's castor oil.
Knock off your camera in a minute.
I never will tell you tonight. T-Bone, what's your take? I think T-Bone frozen. Yeah, T-Bone frozen.
Oh no, you back.
Connection, the boy.
I have an emergency. I'm gonna have to leave you guys. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's quite urgent. If I have time to come back, I will do. But you have to go. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Hope everything is all right, man.
Let's see, bro.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you. Later.
Now you have anything to say before I give my experience? It's kind of traumatic, my experience, but I will say it nevertheless.
Lex is
Yeah.
problem,
Okay.
you know, it's
So
really
my
Lex.
thing is, I have had individuals who have said disturbing things to me of, you know, a sexual manner, and you know, they it's like they almost think that's a turn on. You know what I mean? Where they might say like, yeah, what like Marsha said earlier, stab out your front, and where they talk about their anatomy and say, yeah, my thing is so big, it's gonna go up in your rib cage. I'm gonna mash up your rib cage.
That sounds like
Lex.
Lex. That's what Lex would say.
I'm talking real life examples here, people. This is no exaggeration. I've had some bizarre things said to me, right?
That just put me right off.
But my thing is that oh gosh, sorry, there was a bit of disturbance there. Sorry, people. My thing is that when they start, usually when men are talking like that, right? When man is talking like that, they're trying to get, it's like they think that's gonna get you like spurred on, in it, like excited, like, oh, I can't wait to, like, you know, get in a sack with my man, you know what I'm saying? And they think it's like, it's almost, they think it's a turn on, whereas it's a turn off, because me and you haven't established anything yet for you to be even talking to me on that type of level in the first place. So for me, it's like a complete turn off. 9 times out of 10, when men do talk like that, they are a failure in that department. Okay? All this big talk about you're gonna mash up my rib cage, you're gonna have me sore, and them kind of talk there. Believe me, sisterins, any man that's coming with them kind of talk there, they ain't got nothing to offer. Yeah? Straight facts. They ain't got nothing to offer. They're just chatting shit. Yeah?
Plenty hot air.
It's just plenty talk and nothing to go with that. That's the way I see it. But my thing is that if I'm in an established relationship and my man wants to talk to me like that and whatever, then yeah, by all means, like, we cool. You know what I mean? That's not a problem at all. Because I understand him, he understands me. That's fine. But when it's like someone that's trying to get with you on that kind of level, is very off-putting. And any man that's going around talking like that and thinking that's a turn on to women, it really isn't. So you lot need to stop that one time.
Can I just jump in on that, Naya? Because I feel like, in a way, with that, it's not necessarily always the guy's fault, in the sense that if he's spoken to however many women in a vulgar way and they're enjoying it, I've seen messages where I'm like, oh, what you did? Like, wow, you like that shit? Okay, like, so I guess guys then think, all right, well, talk to every girl like this then. But I hear your point for sure. But
yeah, and that also brings me on to the fact that like some men have like this strategy that they think that is because it's worked on five of these girl, it's gonna work on the next 5 or the next one. You know what I mean? And then when we are talking about the bedroom department, just because your ex and the ex before that and the ex before that and the ex before that liked certain things in the bedroom department or certain positions or whatever, does not mean I'm gonna like it. Or certain things like in terms of foreplay, because that tickled their fancy, that's gonna tickle mine. You know what I'm saying? So that goes along with what I'm also saying with regards to how you speak to a woman and what you say to her and how you try and woo her. You know, it might have worked with them girl, but it ain't gonna work with me.
No,
you know,
how do you ladies woo a man?
No, wait, no, let me go there yet.
You sure you want to ask that, sir?
Let me still stay on the language that is used. You know, I ain't ready to go about how woman does woman yet, because it have a lot of fellas that are very corny. Number one, sometimes when they're drunk, anything does come out their mouth. So I mean, if you're drunk,
That's me.
I know all kind of shit is gonna come out your mouth because I've had drunk guys come up and tell me how the thing lang, and it's only a certain island that is pronounced long lang, right? So it lang, and that he want to do this and that and the other and all kind of things. So I'm like, okay, you drunk. I done X you out already, right? But a man who is not drunk now meets you, and the first thing gonna come out his mouth is about the size of his private part and where he want to put it and all of that is disgusting. And when I was young, and the point I want to make here about this story I'm going to give you all is about our environment, because we touch about it on the environment and what you grow up with and what you hear and all this kind of thing. When I was very, very young in primary school, there was one of my classmates. He had older brothers. I think I was in standard 1. So standard 1, you're real small, right? Standard 1, me even know nothing about sex. We didn't even learn about body parts in standard 1 and things like school now where they're teaching children in year 2 and year 3 and thing about sex and body parts. And this boy wrote me a letter. First, he was very vulgar in what he used to say to me. I don't understand. How come in standard 1 you know about sex? It just used to boggle my mind when I think about it. But anyway, this little boy wrote me the most vulgar letter ever. You understand? Saying how he wanted to literally cut up my private parts and eat it. And that, he wanted to do so much to me because I was so pretty and take my private and do this with it and take his private and do that with it. And I'm thinking, but what? So I obviously went and showed it to the teacher. I went to show the teacher letter that the boy gave me. And well, back in them days, you could have get licks in school, right? So she proper cut his ass. You understand? But it just goes to show my point about this is the environment. What is taught, what is learned, what is picked up. And like Influential was saying, it have some women that encourage certain behaviors of men, and this is why it continues. And then unfortunately, these men feel that is a one size fits all, and they could continue on with other women. Like now you were saying, what would have worked for a particular woman or woman may not work for you. And it's just people being able to recognize that. I mean, if you're drunk, as I said, it's a different story. But if you're not drunk and you're doing that kind of stupidness, then you're really on shit, But in terms of how we talk about sex in the community, I think is everywhere. And do we want to do anything about it? That's the even bigger question. Because we know it's there, we see it in our music, we see it in music videos, we see it in Carnival on the Road, we see it in the way people dress, we see it in parties, we see it in fetes, we see it everywhere. Do we want to do anything about it? That is what I would want to ask. T-Bone, glad you're back with us. You wanted to say something?
Yeah. I was talking to my mom about this particular subject yesterday, and then we came up to the conclusion that it may have started during slavery, when they used to use black women as just sexual objects. They had no value than just reproducing, just having babies and just pleasing the master. And we thought that maybe this is the root of the problem, and then it stayed in the minds and developed over time into something else that we can't really explain, but we can explain it. It's just that we can't go as far back as slavery, but I think it has something to do with it. Now that being said, there are ways obviously to deal with that. It's just that the media has to work with us. Because we can do all the campaigns that we want to do, to say that this is not nice to talk about women like that. I mean, black women like that. But as long as we don't have the support of like the bigger part, the bigger social platforms, then I don't know if it's ever gonna, change like that. Because as you said, we have it in the music, we have it at home. Parents talk like that, boys with their groups talk like that. So it has to be a big movement for it to change.
Good
I must
point.
admit, I did this last summer, I did get a chat up line from someone, which was it wasn't really vulgar, but it was weird. Basically, he came up to me. He goes, "Oh, you're nice, you know." I was like, "Thank you." He goes, "You like small prick man?" I was like, "Huh?" He goes, "I'm not too small, you know." And I was just like,
That sounded like it was me, but it wasn't me, thankfully.
"No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you." And I was
Small
like,
pricks matter.
it was like, should I take offense to this or not take offense? Because he just told me
Shouldn't
he
take
thinks
offense.
small, and I don't want no small prick man. But so he just give me this way from the start. You understand? Like, it's small. So if you like me, I
Stop
think you're not
penis
small.
shaming.
I never say your name.
Did you not bust out laughing when he said that?
More than my whole jacket came flying out. I was just like,
Hey, that's the small pin does joke hard, yeah?
I know.
Small penises matter. We have just the same rights as everybody else on the world.
So you're selling.
Wait. The weed.
What?
Now when they catch you, good. Now my time to talk. T-Bone, you made a good point. You made a lot of these things stem from slavery. And
wait.
Come from slavery. Also kind of So I think it's very important to get that. And you're right. But you know, in terms of the music as well.
Part of the president,
In terms of the music as well. In terms of the music as well. A lot of people, when they're listening,
nice and thing.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Hashtags SPS or SPM.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought so.
Good.
You look like you're prominent. You're leading from the front.
Of course. Right away. You're so silly. With the music as well, what I found, especially with the soca, because I'm Jamaican born and bred, grew up in dancehall and reggae and calypso in the early days of soca, and then come England, learn about soca even more. What I realize is a lot of people actually don't listen to the lyrics. They're just listening and feeling the rhythm. So my man could be saying, "I broke my toe last night, my wife kicked me out," but that rhythm, as long as he says something that make your bum jiggle, and he tells you to jiggle it, that's all you hearing. So whether it's shabim, that skin, this thing, tall thing, small thing, I want a giraffe woman, I want a chin, whatever. They just dance to the rhythm. So it's something that we have to be very mindful of, and it also goes back again now. We can probably tie this into the role model thing and the music thing, because when we look at certain artists and certain genres, and it's an easy example to use, when Dexter Daps is singing certain lyrics in his songs, it's very forward, it's very provocative, but his cadence, his delivery with it is so smooth that you're like, rah, hold on, my man just said you should have sex with him because your boyfriend is not doing it properly. So he's encouraging you to cheat. But he's done it in such a smooth and subtle way that it's just nice. You like it. You can't help yourself but enjoy it.
I don't.
Just to quickly end there, is that how we should now approach him? And like the Dexter Daps approach, it's very smooth and, darling, I want to rub you down with castor oil and then flick you, whatever. And like, is it me? Like, how do you want it? Or you want the wall out like, "Hey girl, come here, bend over right now, boom, boom, TikTok, girl, you pussy fat."
I don't want none of that. FYI.
But then you lot have said when you're in your relationships, you want that.
You want the soft and tender touch.
You want that variety.
Yeah,
So,
but in a relationship, it's a variety, yeah. Just as a
but
random
even then, but remember,
Yeah, but
before you lot get into a
You
relationship,
can
and
be a
marriage,
bit
then,
rough, but you don't have to be so vulgar. Why you gotta be so vulgar? You know?
where's the line? How do you draw the line?
Well,
And it's like what Nye said. Some women like that.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
like how
they
some
do.
women
but
like
you
get
have to
choked,
know, man.
and some women don't like get choked.
Exactly. So
Some
you
women
have
want
to,
you spitting at their mouth. Some women don't want you spitting at their mouth. Some women want you put your foot in she face.
Yeah, so you need to judge it. You need to judge
How
the
you
person.
judge? Because you're not
You
telling
need
the man
to
this in the
figure
face.
out whether
You're
you
not
need to
telling the
know
man this in
whether
the face.
you
some
can talk like that.
some women where you put pepper sauce on your thing so that you
Yeah.
for a minute.
And they want to lick it off.
Burn it up.
They want it.
Yeah. So when
Lick
you
it
done
off.
this, say, man,
Hot steamy.
I burn that. Watch now.
Remember, they say Lex reminded of a lyric, "Small pin does juke." Remember, the hottest pepper always small. I don't.
Yeah, well, that's like Drake own, because like Drake coming on to the cackahole of the week, which again.
Can I just make a quick point though, Giselle, before we move forward?
Mm-hmm.
Was the point not that they were saying not that men are more sexual, but that black people were more sexual in their language? Was that not the point? Or did I misunderstand?
Not just more sexual,
No,
just
no.
the way
that we talk about sex and
but she used race in her description. She used race in her description, did she?
No.
She said that black.
She did.
Yeah, she did
So
say
she
black.
Okay.
Like black men or the black demographic is a lot more disturbing when they are talking about sex. When talking about the things they want to, black men when they want to describe what they want to do to a woman and things like that. So yeah,
cool.
So watching a porn, I disagree.
I didn't want to interrupt everybody because I felt everybody did make really good points. But when I understood what was being said, I personally had a problem with a white person explaining what we do as black people. I don't think that we are more sexualized as a race as opposed to other races. I think that we are hypersexualized, especially the women are hypersexualized. Like T-Bone said, and the legacy will be slavery in terms of you're there to be used, and the man is there to, also to be used in a different way, right? So there's that element. But then we all know that joke. If we want to be facetious, if we want to just talk on like high level, when you're at work, some of the people that we work with, we're the minority as black people. When people get drunk and they're saying all these things, you'll just be like, Bob, what are you talking about? Because they get really sexual very quickly, but they're not black. So I took it more from a racial perspective in terms of they were saying that we are more, and I questioned why she said that. Because it's more like a perpetuation of the stereotype of what we are, which is to reproduce. We're like animalistic. What is wrong? And also, what is wrong with liking sex? We're talking about sex. And I think Same Sequential Mate has made a nice point. We talk about it freely in our music, but generally in your conversations, when you're sitting with your family or your friends, we're not as sexual in our language as some of our other racial counterparts in other situations. It's just that musically, we might be more vocal and talk about it, but in other demographics, we're not like that. We actually are quite repressed, if you ask me, because and the negative aspect of that can be seen when it talks about sexual abuse, when it comes to domestic abuse. We're not forthcoming when it's come to basic conversations, when it's sexual education of young people, so they're not taken advantage of. We're not open in our language. So yes, we can be. If you're talking about Dexter Daps, and no disrespect to anybody here, I love Dexter, but I don't know if her observation reflects what I see and what I observe in my life, basically.
No, and that's some very valid points as well, because
because she was white, wasn't she? She was white, the lady.
Yeah, she was white, but then I mean, I don't know her background in terms of her experiences,
black strong and she conk.
But it could be similar to say mine, or it could be similar to Giselle's. You know what I mean? Depending on Giselle's, based on Giselle's story and everything, it could be that her experience of black men to date has been that, and I think that's why it was brought up during that podcast.
Yeah. But again, it comes back to a wider discussion, guys, around like what Ems was saying, how we approach sex and how we talk about sex in different settings. And that's very, very true. I think in our music, it comes across in our music. But again, if you understand the music industry and how it works, a lot of these artists perform and sing songs that they don't really want to do, and who is it that is pulling the strings for them to produce the type of music that they're producing? I'm not saying everybody, because there are some artists that have free reign and they do what they want to do, but there are a lot of artists that don't, and
look at Britney Spears. Britney Spears pulled their uniform.
Exactly. And that is sexualizing children. And as you said, child sex trafficking is a huge issue, which brings us again back to our cackahole of the week, because we have this issue with Prince Andrew and, basically engaging in sexual activity with minors. When we look at the sexualization of children, how does that then play into what we see panning out in society? Because for somebody like him, and I am so glad that the Queen actually stripped him of all of his royal titles, and all of his, you know, his royal duty and all his accolades and everything like that. And he's now fighting this case as a private citizen because I think
Did
that was
she?
the right thing to do. Yes, she did that today.
Oh wow!
By
I
over
didn't know.
150 ex Royal Navy and servicemen who all said that he is a disgrace and a dishonor to the medals that he holds, you know. So he was stripped of that. And the thing about it is that, you know, he obviously has denied and he's innocent until proven guilty. But we need to talk about these issues in our community because, again, it comes back to that collective responsibility, you know, because these negative things then trickle down. It trickles down. And on another episode of Hot Sauce, we're going to talk about, you know, child abuse and child sex trafficking and that sort of thing, and how grooming and all of that happens in our community. You know, we all know about that uncle and stuff like that. Some of us have very traumatic experiences around that. But again, it happens. And the question is, A, where it stemmed from, B, what we're going to do about it. You know, if we're going to do about it and break the cycle. But, you know, this week we give Kakahole of the Week to Prince Andrew, because the evidence surrounding him and mounting against him is quite a lot. And I would be interested to see how he weaves his way out of it. And I don't believe that anybody is above the law, and that the natural course of justice needs to happen, and he needs to cooperate with it. He's been fighting tooth and nail not to cooperate for about 10 years now, you know, which is a really, really long time. So it would be good to see some sort of, you know, the wheels of justice being put in motion, because we always see justice on the other side when we as a people draw the short straw. So it would be good to see the other side when it have other people who are, you know, going down a route that need to face justice, actually face justice. Marsha, I know you wanted to come in.
Yeah, it's so funny. I had this conversation with my mum today, and like, if you're of the older generation, my mum said she remembers the tabloid press reporting on Prince Andrew back in the early 80s, of all the shenanigans, all the stuff he used to do. He used to be plastered across the tabloid papers, drunk with girls, all this stuff, going to parties. He was wild because he wasn't in line to be king. So they left him alone to do exactly what they wanted. And mum said the same thing about Princess Margaret. She wasn't in line for the throne. So they let her go off and do whatever she wanted. They even gave her one of our islands in St. Vincent for her to go on and do all her things and have her wild parties, her toy boys, her drugs and stuff like that. So back then, these things were swept under the carpet and they were accepted.
We need to talk about that as well on another episode, how they get to exploit the islands like that.
Yes,
we do.
Yeah. So
just to go on to your point, Marsha, as well, you see what you said is such a good point, and you guys can discuss it in the future. When we were growing up, page 3 girls, so you know the page 3 girls would be top one, they could be as young as just turn 16.
Just turn 16.
Just turn 16. So the likes of Katie Price would have been 16, and we've all heard some of her stories, bless her, the things that they went through, sexualization. And then just another really quick point as well, but is it one of the Rolling Stones? Just like Prince, what's his name? Andrew. What was the name? The one that was with Mandy, and she was just 14, and they got married. This was all over the paper. Cause I'm a child. I'm like, that's weird. But they were like laughing, joking, because this was a part of the culture. That's only 20, 25 years ago. That's not that long ago.
Were accepted and swept under the carpet or turned a blind eye to. With the voices of women were not heard. It was actually okay to do these things. Roll on 20, 25 years later, where society has changed, women have got more of a voice, we've got social media as platforms to get our messages across, all these things that exist back then. Now, people are looking and saying, that's not right, that's not wrong. Actually, I was groomed. All these things are starting to click into people's heads about all these things that were happening.
Yes.
Okay, so people of the younger generation are thinking, it's disgusting, but the old generation, no, Andrew's as guilty. He was there doing all them nastiness.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly.
But the other thing that we need to acknowledge as well is not just against women and girls, because there are some horror stories.
Oh yeah, against boys as well.
Boys. Absolute horror stories that shame
all them pastors and preachers and them.
Yes.
Yes.
Understand?
Well, when you say
boys. You know,
When
and
you
that's
said
something
boys,
I'm definitely going to pick up in another show.
sorry, when you said boys, are you referring to Prince Andrew's case,
No,
or
no,
are
no,
you
no,
just talking in
no.
general?
So just in
General,
general.
in general.
General,
It's not
okay,
just
yeah,
women
of course,
and girls that
100%.
are subjected to
By
sexual
that
abuse and
media.
sex trafficking. Because boys get sex trafficked as well.
Yeah,
You know,
they do.
young
But I
boys
think when you have that conversation, could you also touch on? I don't think I'll be a good one to have on that show because it's not my experience, but just like the grooming of like women as well, like women perpetrators, female perpetrators, they're the auntie or the friend, and then those young boys have been affected in their life and their relationships because of something that somebody quite evil has done to them, and it's like the mum's friend and the mum's aunt or something. It's just really bad, really prolific in our community as well.
Well, the thing is, I was listening to a discussion today, and what the person was saying is that the law, they were talking about these kids, these two kids that slipped through the social services net that got killed recently, these two little babies. And what the lady was saying is that society has to have a different look on women, because these children were actually killed by women or aided and abetted in their murder. You know, and you look at what's
Rose
happening.
West.
Yeah,
Rose West, she lured the girls in.
Yes.
So her when I can't remember something her husband
But
West.
look at Ghislaine. Ghislaine was the one who was getting the girls for Epstein. You understand? So again, we have to talk about that and address that issue as well. You know, because this is a serious issue. So we will be watching very closely the developments with Prince Andrew, who is our cackahole of the week. And you know, just to round off our last cackahole before we sign off, is around the Drake and the IG model. Now, this is like a whole kind of worms, because to me, first of all, I mean, you have to be a certain type of desperate to actually take a condom and try to insert the man's semen into. That's a different level. I know, but that's a different level of desperation. You're not sick in. You have to
different level of stupidity.
But the other thing about it is,
she just couldn't bother to go to the sperm bank. That's all.
No, but then she wouldn't get a check. She wouldn't get a check from Drake if she went to the sperm bank. But with him putting the pepper sauce in the condom, now for me, I think that was a stroke of genius.
Yeah, man.
I think that was a stroke of genius.
I want my son to do that.
You know, pick up to Drake, because I think the woman is an idiot. You understand? You have to be some kind of different level of desperate and psychologically not right.
But Giselle,
like that.
I don't think it's just desperation in that way. It is desperation, but I think she done it because it was Drake and because of the money. You know?
Yeah. That's why she desperate. T-Bone, she desperate.
Yeah.
Desperate for $1 million.
Okay.
She want $1 million.
Instead of you look to be independent, you know, get education, support yourself, whatever, you go in and look to dig up in the trash for a condom to insert the semen when the chances of you even getting pregnant by that means they're so low anyway.
Yeah.
But you go and do that.
Can I make a point? Can I make a point? But it's also mad at the fact that she's clearly not even thinking, right, when I have this child, they're gonna have a dad around them and all that kind of stuff. You just ran to just do that.
No,
that is mad. Exactly. It's very, very selfish. That will say she's not right in her head. Psychologically, something is wrong with her.
Her front of the bun up. Her whole front of the bun up. I got no sympathy for her. Her whole front of the bun way. I got no sympathy for that. If that was my sister or one of my female cousins, I tell you, listen, I would have beat that when the whole front. I would have beat that, and listen, I would have beat it. No, I would have beat her. No, you can't be so shabby. How you can be so shabby? Your whole front of the way. Good. Good. No.
So how did it come out? Like, did she actually go and confess her story to someone?
Yeah, she went like she's in the right.
Yeah, she come out and say it. You know, that's why he came back. Did you see his response where he said, I'll give you your 15 minutes of fame and I'll take the other 23 hours, 45 minutes.
And that's where I think he went wrong, because to me, you can literally say, and I was saying this to somebody this week, You can literally say anything on the internet now. You can say anything you want. And I was having a conversation on my show this week as well. If it's funny, if it makes the other person feel comfortable, people will believe it because they want to. If you know, it doesn't matter if it's true. But let's just say it was true. No, actually, I take that back. First of all, Drake, if I was him, I would never have commented. Whether it's true or not, I would never have commented because you're giving validation to her story. People could speculate all they want, but then it means nothing. You're Drake, right? But if it is true, then that's a sign of mental health issues to me, because why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? It's a transactional. It's a transactional of her, the lady. If she did do it, if this did prove to be true, it's not about the child. It's literally transactional. Literally. And then you're not somebody that I can relate to your moral compass and your way of thinking, because you're trapping somebody for your financial gain. But personally, my gut says that it's another one of these dotish internet stories that we like because it's funny. It's funny. Even I post a couple memes. It's funny. It gets us all talking. But do I believe it? No, I don't, to be honest.
Yeah.
And she's gonna use it to get clout, get followers. Then people are gonna interview her. Then she's gonna get paid to make appearances. Now she can start selling merch. She can start selling everything because she has over 10 or 50,000 followers on IG. Clout is killing our people.
Yeah, well, it's just like leaking a sex tape, isn't it? You know, you leak a sex tape. I remember when leaking a sex tape was the quickest way to fame. You know, but now that's so it's so.
Now if you leak it, people just laugh at you until they take it off the internet. You're wasting time. We want to see that rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. But when it
done already, move, boy.
Yeah, people build their whole careers on that. You know, but it just goes to show again the shallowness of some people. To me, it tells so much when someone could do something like that about that person's mental state. You know, to do something like that. But again, so she's our cackahole of the week.
I've heard though that like some other men have done that. But I mean, do you guys know any men that have done that? I mean, like, the whole pepper thing.
Sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard that
thing. I never heard
it's
it.
It's a Bayesian thing.
But
is it?
Hold on, what did he even do? Because I don't even know what he did. I'm saying I don't keep up to none of these stuff.
He put pepper sauce in his condom legs. They had sex, and he threw the condom in the bin, but he put pepper sauce in it before he did. And she went. He didn't know, so she went in the bin, obviously fish out the condom and try to insert it up her home, and then ball out because she feels fire. So and then he told her he put pepper sauce in the condom.
But you know what? I'm thinking, number one, where was you going walking around with pepper sauce? And two, have you done that before to know to do that?
Yes. See, men, you gotta protect yourself, men.
Yeah, you walk with a little sachet.
She must be the first girl that actually pulled them out and tried to do it, and that's how we knew it worked. Apparently, so they didn't know if it actually worked. It did, but it bung out your front, didn't it? So it worked. There you go. What can I say? Like, I've got no sympathy for that. I've got no sympathy. When she did it, I have got no sympathy. And guys, if girls out there doing these things, protect yourself for real. You put a condom on, it's not enough. So you got to back up yourself, innit?
No, but the thing about it is, I thought that whole notion of having a child to trap a man, I thought that gone out. I know people that still do that.
Hold on, you know how rich Drake is?
You know
how rich Drake is?
No, I know, but still,
Drake, she wants to check.
Yeah, we know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but when I say trap a man, not only trap a man.
Anybody want that check right now?
Not trapping the man into a relationship with you, but trapping the man financially as well.
Well, 50 Cent put in a song, "Have a Baby by Me and Become a Millionaire," innit? So that's what they might do.
Oh gosh, this is why I can't do certain musics, man. Like what they talk about is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
literally.
But my thing is, no one sat this woman down and went through the birds and the bees. I mean, come on, like the man bust a nut in the condom, like then that's dead sperm anyway. Why were you even trying to try a thing? That didn't even make no sense. Once he busts, the thing dead.
No, but the thing about it is, it's like there's a little time that it survives, but even when
it's very little time.
I know, but even to reinsert it somehow to then try and squeeze it back up inside, because you're gonna have to really push that.
No, she was upside down doing some madness.
Like she would have to tilt herself, tilt her legs way up in the sky, and ting. Like it doesn't. By the time the sperm is even transferring inside of her, the thing dead. So I don't even know why she even tried it. It's stupid.
Pet. I just gonna chill. She's gonna be like so in the bathroom.
How I see influential I see how it is. Let me see the post she had to do in the bathroom again there. Okay.
I would like to know anyone that has successfully done what she was trying to do. And I want them to tell us their story.
You will remain anonymous. You will keep it confidential.
I'm making the floor open for them, man. People come through.
She's someone's daughter, sister, auntie, something.
She's chasing the bag.
Luckily,
you know she's gonna have a friend that will help her as well.
Such a tragic thing.
It's tragic.
It is.
Who would do that? Just imagine. I can't comprehend even the thought process. I just can't. Why would you do that?
No,
Why?
because you have sound mind, Ems. She's not sound mind.
Americans have a different culture.
I'm sure there's loads of girls that do it.
Well, that's another thing, T-Bone. You know, we could talk about that as well. I was some controversial.
I live in New York.
I have plenty relatives living in the States, but they're like a different breed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. I lived in New York for just 3 weeks. That was meant to be 3 months, and for the short period of time that I spent there, I saw some things that made me realize that an American would sell mother and father for the dollar.
Wow.
They would do that, for real. They love money.
They do.
A lot,
Wow.
yeah.
That's sad.
Wow. Well, guys, we ran over slightly, but I mean, the topics and the discussion tonight was really, really amazing. I just want to say good night to everyone that tuned in again. And someone put in the comments, Tanae Thomas, a really good point. Now, we will pick up Tanae, and thanks for your point around, boys at the age of 14 or so feel that, it's a right to, lose their virginity to an older woman, to a big woman. That is something that we
feel it's their right.
Yeah, well, it's the feel is right. No, the feel is right. That is a good thing. It's a macho thing, because like how boys talk. And, I mean, I know some guys, some male friends of mine who lost their virginity at 13, 14, and that was seen as it's
pedophilia. Just because it's a boy, it's just wrong to me. I just don't like it.
For me, I am a mom, and man, I wouldn't want my son at 13 to lose his virginity to a 40-something, 50-something plus year-old woman. I wouldn't want him to lose his virginity, period, at that age, Even to
a 20-year-old, it's just wrong.
Exactly. It's just wrong. He's still a child. And the same way how we view girls when young girls as children, boys are children too. I don't like people taking advantage of children, whether it's male or female. Don't take advantage of children, full stop. And that's something that we're going to talk about. So, guys, I'm just going to do a round robin. Everybody say your last words, anything you want to say before we close off. Don't all jump at once, but take it one at a time. And now nobody jump.
I've got nothing else to add to what's been said already. Great little talk today. Cacaholes are big cacaholes, and just watch the space for Prince Andrew, any foolishness, and I see you all on the next live.
Yeah, Spice.
I just want to say, West Indian guys, sometimes it's a bit nice to have a bit more romance You know, when you're trying to woo your lady, it will be nice to actually get wooed. But also at the same time, I realized that, you know, the guys have had a raw deal. And so whereas I used to be really shy back in the day, now I'm trying to, kind of overcoming that, and I'm trying to do the more approaching or talking. So I will carry on.
I love that. Love that, mate.
Eventually, is a handful.
More than.
For me, I think the only thing, going back to the whole dating thing and women shooting their shot, kind of like what Hype Spice is saying in terms of being the one to do a bit, you know, do a bit more of the talking and stuff. I think for ladies, there's ways to shoot your shot without directly saying, yeah, let's go on a date. Like, you could make conversation and talk about where you both like going, maybe be like, oh, like, you know, maybe one day we should go there. And you make the hint, and they take the hint and then go from
Take the man out, Abs. Take him out on the date. I want to take you out.
Just tart the things.
No, I'll drop the hint and then that's it.
Yeah, get the nothing really get the.
Can I just say, I took my ex out 3 times while we were together, and he didn't take me out once.
You see, that's I need to make
bonfire upon him. He's an idiot.
Sometimes guys get comfortable as well, and I think that's the other.
Hyper Spice can take him to Maurice tomorrow.
He's your ex, yeah?
Yes, he's my ex, yeah.
But that is why, don't it?
Exactly.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, firstly, Hyper, how did you make that 3 dates go?
Do not chastise her for making the 3 dates happen.
What was
dare you?
I'm just saying.
How dare you?
Well, I
was and she thought she'd try whatever, but he was a drunkard, and that's why he's an ex.
Yes, well, I know.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying. Free time. No. Maybe after the second time it's a red flag, and then I'll be like, I'll be questioning that. But after me, but I was just gonna say, each to their own. Those who want to propose to their man and in marriage, hand in marriage, good luck to you. Well done to you. Do your thing. The ladies that like to slide into man's DMs, do your thing. Well done to you. Me do that? You must be mad. Not for me. But each to their own. You know, round of applause to the ladies that are doing that. I know it's big 2022. Times have changed. Roles have moved on, reversed, whatever. But it's just, I just couldn't. And maybe I'm a woman of privilege because I've never needed to. But big up to the ladies, the sisterins that are doing that. Big up to you. You lot are bigger than me, man. So I rate them. But it's a no for me. No proposal. The most you're going to get me doing is, I'll take a man on a date. And I'll pay. That's it. I'm not chirping a man. I'm not sliding anyone's DMs. Nah. It's a no for me.
I tried to slide once, and I tell you, I did get rejected. I tried to slide once, and you know what? I just thought, fuck it, mate. I'm not doing it again.
Wrong DMs. Try the next DM. You didn't see it.
Try next DM, or then again, like some of these men that, you know what I mean, that slide in my DMs and they're just talking to themselves. Like for months, weeks, months, even years. Just talking to themselves. I rate them, man. I rate their confidence.
Sad.
But they're talking to themselves.
Hey. Hi.
Influential, your last words, please.
Oh, you're coming to me. I think I'm gonna stick. Yeah. All I'm gonna say is, I want one of you to slide in my DMs. I'm gonna Hyper Spice, slide in my DMs. You good. I got it carrot for you. Giselle, I got a big piece of corn for you. I can't wait to see you.
You are no big piece of corn.
Big piece of corn.
The
I said corn.
SPM
Yeah,
movement.
corn on the cob.
Yeah. But most importantly, what I'm gonna take from this is that men should definitely not be so shallow-minded in their approach, be less crude. That's definitely because you can't do the blanket approach, which is what we've gathered this evening. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I think I've said enough on this episode.
I
God
just
bless.
want
Propose
you
to me. If you like me and you're watching this, propose to me. My at
I
is
want
my
you to
at
keep
is
the
there.
momentum of the SPM.
Of course, I'll never disown it. Small pricks matter.
Yes.
The G spot is already so far in, so small pricks matter.
Exactly. And
God bless
thanks
you.
for reminding our audience. T-Bone.
Oh
I don't know what to add really. I would say it was a nice experience to be on this live. You know, it was my first time. I really enjoyed it. I would say we need to talk more about the whole role sex talk thing. You know, because it's a subject that's really deep. You know, and yeah, it was nice to hear from other women's perspective regarding the whole marriage thing. You know, yeah.
And thanks for being a part of tonight's show. To everybody who is new, it's really good
No
having
problem.
you.
And then one more thing. Next week, Jab Glow in the night. Yeah, don't forget, people.
Yes. No. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We coming out and support Uncle Lex.
All I will say is, ladies, do not be scared to ask man out. Don't be scared to ask man out. Don't be scared to ask your man to marry him. Blood, it is not the Stone Age anymore. We are big people. If you know what you want, go and get what you want, innit? That's all I want to say. Really.
All right.
I like that though.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think for me, I'm probably gonna say, I think I want people to have more of an awareness of racism and colorism. Like, we talk about it, but people don't acknowledge like their part in it as well. So I think I want to have more of an awareness of the day-to-day impact and what we say to each other. And when I say we, like we as like Black people of the Caribbean, because everybody here is West Indian in some respect, what the language we use, have more of an awareness. And also the Dominican M show is Saturday live, 2 till 4 every Saturday, and I'm there chatting. So yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. As I said, thank you to all of you for being on tonight's show. We were really, really happy to have you. I hope that our viewers enjoyed tonight. It will be posted on the Carnival Slayers YouTube channel for you to catch up, and also for you to share for anyone who wasn't able to join in tonight. Thank you to everyone who put comments, all our viewers who put comments in. And from myself, Giselle Carter, I think everyone has their handles. You can follow us on Instagram. We're all doing fantastic things, and this summer it looks like it's going to be really good in the UK. So I'm excited about certain stuff that is in the pipeline and things that are coming, and the hot sauce is going to be getting even hotter as we go along. So thanks to our CEO, Nai, thanks to our technical guru, Miss Ponderode in the corner. And so from myself, Giselle, thank you, everybody, and we will see you again soon. Have a good night.
2 weeks.
Good evening.
2 weeks from now.
Yes. Take care.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.